The story of Atlantis is one of the most enduring and captivating legends in human history. Described as a highly advanced and powerful civilization, Atlantis is said to have existed more than 11,000 years ago, before vanishing mysteriously beneath the ocean. Over the centuries, the myths of Atlantis has captured the imaginations of historians, archaeologists, writers, and dreamers alike. The question that continues to intrigue scholars and enthusiasts is, was Atlantis a real place, or merely a mythological creation? The first mention of Atlantis comes from the works of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, who wrote about the city in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias around 360 BCE. According to Plato, Atlantis was a vast island located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which we know today as the Strait of Gibraltar. The island was said to be larger than Libya and Asia Minor, combined with a sophisticated and flourishing civilization that thrived for many generations. Plato described the Atlanteans as an advanced people blessed with remarkable engineering and architectural skills. They built grand palaces, temples, and canals, with the capital city being a marvel of urban design consisting of concentric rings of water and land. The Atlanteans were also known for their wealth, enjoying abundant natural resources, including precious metals and a thriving trade network. In Plato's account, the island of Atlantis was ruled by powerful kings who were descended from Poseidon, the Greek god of the sea. However, despite their great prosperity, the Atlanteans eventually became corrupt. Plato depicted them as a people who grew greedy and immoral, abandoning their noble virtues. The gods, angered by their decadence, decided to punish the Atlanteans. In a single day and night of cataclysmic events, Atlantis was submerged by a great flood and vanished beneath the sea, lost to history forever. Plato's account of Atlantis was largely dismissed as a myth for centuries. Some believed it was a cautionary tale about the dangers of hubris and moral decay, designed to warn civilizations of the consequences of arrogance and greed. Others speculated that Plato's story was allegorical, meant to illustrate philosophical ideas rather than describe a real place. Yet, despite the skepticism surrounding Atlantis, many have sought to uncover its true location. Over the years, countless theories have emerged, suggesting that the lost city could be found in locations as diverse as the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, Antarctica, and even the Caribbean Sea. Some proponents argue that Atlantis was a real ancient civilization that was destroyed by a natural disaster, such as a volcanic eruption or an earthquake, leading to the submergence of the island. One of the most popular theories ties Atlantis to the island of Santorini in the Aegean Sea. In 1450 BCE, the Minoan civilization, based on Santorini, was devastated by one of the largest volcanic eruptions in recorded history. The eruption caused massive tsunamis and widespread destruction, potentially explaining Plato's description of Atlantis being lost in a cataclysmic event. The Minoans were also an advanced culture known for their art, architecture, and seafaring prowess, which aligns with some aspects of Plato's Atlantis. Other theories suggest that the story of Atlantis could be connected to real historical events, such as the decline of ancient civilizations due to catastrophic natural disasters, or the collapse of the Bronze Age societies. The myth of Atlantis could be a reflection of humanity's collective memory of ancient civilizations that were wiped out by earthquakes, floods, or other forms of destruction. Despite the intriguing theories and ongoing fascination with the legend, no definitive evidence has ever been found to prove that Atlantis existed as Plato described it. Modern archaeologists and historians largely consider Atlantis to be a myth. though it continues to spark imaginations and inspire explorations of lost civilizations. In the centuries following Plato's writings, the tale of Atlantis has evolved into a cultural touchstone, inspiring works of fiction, movies, and even pseudoscientific theories. Whether real or imagined, Atlantis represents the timeless human desire to explore the unknown, uncover lost histories, and dream of civilizations beyond our own. To this day, Atlantis remains a symbol of both human achievement and the fragility of great civilizations. Its legend serves as a reminder that even the greatest empires can fall, disappearing into the depths of the ocean, leaving behind only myths, stories, and the eternal question: was Atlantis real? Pompeii, a city frozen in time, offers a poignant glimpse into the life of ancient Rome before the catastrophic eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 CE. Its destruction and rediscovery centuries later have made it one of the most famous archaeological sites in the world. The city's sudden and tragic demise is a story of nature's raw power, human vulnerability, and the passage of time. Today, Pompeii stands as a testament to Roman civilization and a reminder of the fragility of human existence. Located near the Bay of Naples in southern Italy, Pompeii was once a thriving Roman city, home to approximately 11,000 people. Its inhabitants lived in a bustling urban environment, filled with grand houses, public baths, temples, and busy marketplaces. The city was a hub of commerce and culture, situated near fertile lands that produced agricultural goods, as well as a popular vacation spot for the wealthy Roman elite. Pompeii's citizens enjoyed a lifestyle marked by luxurious homes, adorned with intricate frescoes, beautiful mosaics, and sophisticated engineering, such as the city's advanced water systems and public entertainment venues. However, Pompeii's prosperity came to an abrupt and tragic end on August 24th, 79 CE. Mount Vesuvius, a seemingly dormant volcano, erupted in a violent and catastrophic event that buried the entire city under a thick blanket of ash, pumice, and volcanic debris. The eruption released a cloud of volcanic ash and gas that reached an estimated height of 33 kilometers, 20 miles, into the sky. Within hours, Pompeii was completely covered, and its inhabitants were buried under several meters of ash and pumice, many of them succumbing to the intense heat, toxic gases, and collapsing buildings. What makes the destruction of Pompeii so compelling is that the city was not entirely wiped away. Instead, it was preserved by the volcanic materials that buried it, creating a time capsule of ancient life. For centuries, the ruins of Pompeii remained hidden beneath layers of volcanic ash, forgotten by all but a few locals. It wasn't until the 18th century that the city was rediscovered, sparking an archaeological excavation that continues to this day. The excavation of Pompeii has revealed an extraordinary snapshot of Roman life, frozen at the moment of its destruction. Archaeologists have uncovered well-preserved buildings, streets, and objects, offering a detailed view of the city's infrastructure, architecture, and daily activities. The streets of Pompeii are lined with stepping stones designed to keep pedestrians' feet dry in the rain and above the sewage running in the gutters. The ruins of temples, bathhouses, and forums still stand, showcasing the grandeur of the Roman city. Even the remnants of private homes, with their frescoes and mosaics, provide insight into the personal lives of Pompeii's citizens. One of the most striking aspects of Pompeii's preservation is the discovery of plaster casts of the victims of the eruption. As the hot ash and pumice enveloped the city, it created molds around the bodies of those who were trapped, preserving their final moments. Archaeologists later injected plaster into these cavities, creating lifelike casts of the victims, some of whom appear to be in the midst of fleeing, trying to protect themselves, or even covering their faces from the suffocating fumes. These casts have become an enduring symbol of the city's tragic fate, evoking a deep sense of loss and human vulnerability. Pompeii's rediscovery has provided historians and archaeologists with invaluable information about Roman life, technology, and society. The preserved frescoes, sculptures, and inscriptions offer insights into the religious practices, political structures, and daily routines of the Romans. The city's vibrant street life, including shops, taverns, and brothels, has revealed much about the social dynamics of the time, shedding light on both the public and private spheres of Roman society. Despite its fame, Pompeii's excavation continues to be a challenging and ongoing process. Natural forces, including earthquakes and the erosion caused by tourism, threaten the preservation of the site. Efforts are being made to safeguard the ruins for future generations, with ongoing research and conservation projects focused on maintaining the integrity of the site. Today, Pompeii stands not only as a symbol of the ancient Roman world, but also as a poignant reminder of the fleeting nature of human existence. The city, once full of life, now lies under a blanket of volcanic ash, its streets silent, its buildings crumbled. Yet, in its remains, there is a story of resilience and tragedy, of human endeavor and nature's unstoppable force. Pompeii's eternal ashes serve as a powerful testament to the fragility of life and the indelible imprint left by the passage of time. Perched high in the Peruvian Andes, shrouded by clouds and encased in lush green forests, Machu Picchu stands as one of the most awe-inspiring and enigmatic ancient sites in the world. Often referred to as the lost city of the Incas, this remarkable archaeological wonder was built by the Inca civilization in the 15th century. It remains an enduring symbol of Incan ingenuity, mysticism, and the civilization's profound connection with nature. Though it was never truly lost to the world, the mystery surrounding its purpose and the methods used to build it continue to captivate scholars and visitors alike. Machu Picchu is situated at an altitude of approximately 2,430 meters, 7,970 feet, above sea level, making it one of the most striking and accessible archaeological sites in the world. The name Machu Picchu translates to Old Peak in Quechua, reflecting its towering position above the Urubamba River Valley. Its location, hidden deep within the cloud forests, adds to the air of mystery that envelops the site. The city's isolation and its breathtaking panoramic views of the surrounding mountains make it an almost otherworldly destination, as if it were suspended between the earth and the heavens. The origins of Machu Picchu are firmly tied to the Inca Empire, which flourished in South America between the 15th and 16th centuries. It is believed that the site was constructed during the reign of the Inca Emperor Pachacuti, 1438 to 1471. Unlike other Incan sites, Machu Picchu was not a major political or administrative center, nor was it intended as a grand capital city, like Cusco. Instead, it is thought to have been a royal estate or religious sanctuary, perhaps designed as a retreat for the emperor or an important religious pilgrimage site. The exact purpose of Machu Picchu remains a matter of speculation. Some archaeologists believe it was a ceremonial center dedicated to Incan deities, while others suggest it served as a retreat for elite rulers, military leaders, and nobles. The site contains several structures that may have had religious significance, such as the Intihuatana stone, a ritual stone thought to have been used as a celestial clock or calendar, aligning with the sun during solstices and equinoxes. Additionally, the presence of fine masonry, terraces for agricultural purposes, and the overall design of the site suggest it was built with a deep understanding of astronomy, agriculture, and sacred geometry. Machu Picchu was ingeniously designed and constructed, employing the sophisticated Incan building technique known as ashlar masonry. Stones were cut to fit perfectly without mortar, creating durable and earthquake-resistant walls that have withstood the test of time. The site's remarkable engineering includes intricate drainage systems, agricultural terraces that helped the Incas cultivate crops in the mountainous terrain, and a series of temples, plazas, and residences. The site's architecture blends seamlessly with the natural landscape, a testament to the Incas' deep respect for nature and their ability to work with the environment rather than against it. Despite its grandeur and importance, Machu Picchu was abandoned by the Incas sometime in the 16th century, likely as a result of the Spanish conquest. When the Spanish arrived in the Andes, they destroyed much of the Inca Empire, but they never discovered Machu Picchu, perhaps due to its remote and hidden location. As a result, the site was lost to the outside world for centuries, and it wasn't until 1911, when American historian Hiram Bingham rediscovered it, that it began to gain international attention. Since then, Machu Picchu has become a global icon of Incan culture and one of the most visited archaeological sites in the world. Today, Machu Picchu is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and efforts have been made to preserve its cultural and ecological integrity. However, the increasing number of tourists visiting the site has raised concerns about the preservation of the site's delicate environment. Sustainable tourism practices are being implemented to protect the site, and visitors are encouraged to respect the sacredness and fragility of this ancient wonder. Despite centuries of research and exploration, many questions about Machu Picchu remain unanswered. What was its exact role in Incan society? How did the Incas manage to build such a sophisticated city in such a difficult terrain without the use of advanced tools? These mysteries continue to intrigue historians and archaeologists, ensuring that Machu Picchu retains its status as one of the most fascinating and enigmatic ancient sites in the world. For modern travelers, visiting Machu Picchu is more than just a journey to an ancient ruin. It is an immersion into a world that transcends time. Surrounded by the towering peaks of the Andes, the mist that rolls through the mountains, and the sounds of the wind rustling through the trees, it is impossible not to feel a sense of awe. Deep within the heart of Guatemala's lush Petén rainforest lies Tikal, one of the most significant and awe-inspiring archaeological sites of the ancient Maya civilization. Known as the heartbeat of the jungle, Tikal was once a powerful city-state and cultural hub that flourished between 200 and 900 CE. Today, Tikal's towering pyramids and sprawling ruins rise from the dense jungle, offering a glimpse into the grandeur of a civilization that left an indelible mark on history. The site's remarkable preservation and mysterious past continue to captivate visitors, archaeologists, and historians alike. Tikal is located in the northern part of the Petén Basin, an area that was once the heartland of the Maya civilization. It was during the classic period of Maya civilization, 250 to 900 CE, that Tikal reached its peak, becoming one of the largest and most powerful cities in the Maya world. The city's influence stretched across much of the region, controlling trade routes, agricultural lands, and military alliances. At its height, Tikal is believed to have supported a population of over 100,000 people, making it one of the largest cities in the ancient Americas. The layout of Tikal is a testament to the Mayas' advanced urban planning and architectural prowess. The city was carefully constructed with an intricate network of plazas, temples, pyramids, palaces, and causeways, all aligned with celestial events and the cycles of the natural world. The central area of Tikal contains some of the most iconic and awe-inspiring structures, including the Great Plaza, surrounded by towering temples and impressive platforms. The architecture of Tikal, especially the towering pyramids, demonstrates the Mayas' deep understanding of mathematics, astronomy, and engineering. One of the most notable structures in Tikal is Temple 4, the highest structure at the site, which reaches a height of 70 meters, 230 feet. This pyramid is a marvel of engineering, with a steep staircase leading to a temple at the summit. Visitors climbing the pyramid are rewarded with a stunning panoramic view of the surrounding jungle, where the city's other temples and structures emerge from the canopy like ancient sentinels watching over the landscape. The sheer scale of Tikal's temples is both humbling and awe-inspiring, symbolizing the Maya rulers' connection to the divine and their claim over the natural world. The Maya were deeply spiritual, and Tikal was no exception. The city was home to numerous temples and ceremonial sites dedicated to Maya gods, with the most important being the Temple of the Great Jaguar, Temple 1 and Temple 2. These temples were built to honor the gods and were the sites of important rituals, including royal burials, sacrifices, and celestial ceremonies. The Maya believed that the kings of Tikal were divinely chosen, and their power was intertwined with the gods and the cosmos. At its peak, Tikal was a vibrant center of culture, politics, and religion. The rulers of Tikal, known as Kuhul Ajau, divine kings, played crucial roles in maintaining the city's prosperity and influence. These kings conducted warfare, organized large-scale agricultural projects, and performed ceremonial duties to ensure the continued favor of the gods. Tikal was engaged in frequent political and military conflict with neighboring city-states such as Calakmul and Karakol, as they vied for control of the region's resources and power. Despite its glory, Tikal's decline began around 800 CE, part of the broader collapse of the classic Maya civilization. The reasons behind the city's fall remain a subject of debate among scholars. Some theories suggest that prolonged warfare, resource depletion, environmental degradation, and internal strife led to the city's gradual abandonment. By the time Spanish conquistadors arrived in the region in the 16th century, Tikal was largely abandoned, its once great temples and palaces hidden by the thick jungle that had slowly reclaimed the land. The rediscovery of Tikal in the mid-19th century brought renewed attention to the ancient city. American explorer and archaeologist John Lloyd Stephens, along with artist Frederick Catherwood, were among the first to document the ruins of Tikal in the 1840s. Their accounts, along with those of later explorers, brought Tikal to the attention of the Western world, though it remained largely isolated until the late 20th century, when extensive excavation and restoration efforts began. Today, Tikal is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most popular tourist destinations in Central America. The site continues to reveal new secrets through ongoing archaeological research. Excavations have uncovered elaborate stelae, stone monuments, inscribed with hieroglyphic texts, revealing the names of rulers, military victories, and important events in the history of Tikal. The stelae and other artifacts offer valuable insights into Maya history, politics, and culture. Visiting Tikal is a powerful experience that transports visitors back in time. The ruins, surrounded by the dense jungle, exude an air of mystery and wonder. As you walk through the Great Plaza or climb the towering steps of Temple 4, it's easy to imagine the bustling city that once thrived here, its people engaged in daily life, rituals, and politics. The sounds of wildlife echo through the jungle, and the sight of ancient pyramids rising above the canopy offers a haunting reminder of the Maya civilization's enduring legacy. Tikal's legacy is not only in its stunning architecture and its role in the history of the Maya civilization, but also in its continuing significance as a symbol of the ingenuity and resilience of a people who lived in harmony with their environment. The heartbeat of the jungle is a powerful reminder of the complexity and vibrancy of the ancient Maya world and their lasting influence on the cultural and historical fabric of the Americas. Carved into the rose-hued cliffs of southern Jordan, Petra stands as one of the world's most captivating and enigmatic archaeological sites. Known as the Rose City because of the striking color of its sandstone rock, Petra is an ancient city that was once the thriving capital of the Nabatean kingdom, a powerful Arab state that flourished from the 4th century BCE until its annexation by the Roman Empire in 106 CE. The city's unique architecture, ingenious water systems, and strategic location in the desert make Petra an extraordinary testament to human ingenuity and the enduring legacy of a lost civilization. Petra's history is as fascinating as its stunning beauty. The Nabateans, a nomadic Arab tribe settled in the area around the 6th century BCE, attracted by Petra's strategic location at the crossroads of trade routes connecting Arabia, Egypt, Syria, and Mesopotamia. This advantageous position enabled Petra to become a major trading hub where merchants exchanged goods such as spices, silks, and incense. The wealth accumulated through trade allowed the Nabateans to transform Petra from a small settlement into a grand city, renowned for its elaborate architecture and sophisticated water management systems. What makes Petra so unique is its rock-cut architecture. The city's buildings, tombs, and temples were carved directly into the vibrant, rose-colored sandstone cliffs, creating a breathtaking and almost otherworldly appearance. The most famous of Petra's structures is the Al-Khazneh, or the Treasury, a massive facade carved into the rock face, which towers to a height of over 40 meters, 130 feet. The Treasury is an intricately detailed monument with columns, friezes, and a majestic urn at its peak. It is widely believed to have been a royal tomb, though its exact purpose remains a mystery. Its dramatic and stunning design has earned it a place among the most iconic landmarks in the world. Beyond the treasury, Petra is dotted with numerous other monuments, including temples, burial chambers, and the remains of a grand amphitheater that once hosted performances and gatherings. One of the most impressive aspects of Petra's architecture is the use of natural topography to create a city that blends seamlessly with its desert surroundings. Narrow passageways, known as S-Cycus, wind through the rock formations, leading visitors to hidden courtyards and monumental buildings. The SIQ that leads to the treasury is particularly striking, with the towering cliffs rising over 100 meters, 330 feet, on either side, creating a dramatic approach to one of the city's most famous landmarks. Petra's significance is not just architectural, however. The city also boasts its advanced engineering and urban planning. One of the most remarkable achievements of the Nabateans was their water management system. Situated in a desert environment with very little rainfall, the Nabateans constructed an intricate system of dams, cisterns, and water conduits to collect and store water, allowing them to thrive in a harsh and arid climate. The system was so effective that Petra was able to support a population of up to 30,000 people at its peak, with an abundance of water for daily use, agriculture, and trade. Despite its prosperity, Petra began to decline after the Romans annexed the Nabatean kingdom in 106 CE. The city's strategic importance diminished as new trade routes bypassed Petra, and the city was further weakened by earthquakes in the 4th and 5th centuries CE. By the time of the early Islamic period, Petra had largely been abandoned and forgotten by the outside world. Over the centuries, the site was buried under sand and stone, remaining hidden from the west until its rediscovery by Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt in 1840-1812. Burckhardt's journey to Petra was the beginning of renewed interest in the city, and since then, extensive archaeological work has revealed many of its secrets. Today, Petra is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most popular tourist destinations in the Middle East. It attracts visitors from around the world who come to witness its stunning architecture, rich history, and the sense of awe it evokes. Despite the thousands of tourists who visit each year, Petra still carries an air of mystery. While much has been discovered, many aspects of the city's past remain elusive, including the details of the Nabatean culture, the reasons for its decline, and the full extent of the city's original layout. Petra's lasting appeal lies not only in its breathtaking beauty, but also in the story it tells. It is a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of the Nabateans, who carved a thriving city from the desert rock and created one of the most impressive urban landscapes of the ancient world. The Rose City, though lost to time and the ravages of nature, continues to stand as a symbol of human creativity, perseverance, and the enduring spirit of exploration. Nestled in the jungles of Cambodia, the sprawling temple complex of Angkor Wat is one of the most magnificent and awe-inspiring feats of ancient architecture, often considered the largest religious monument in the world. Angkor Wat is the crown jewel of the Angkor Archaeological Park, a vast area that was once the heart of the Khmer Empire, one of Southeast Asia's most powerful and prosperous civilizations. Built in the early 12th century during the reign of King Surya Varman II, Angkor Wat stands as a testament to the ingenuity, ambition, and spiritual devotion of the Khmer people. It is a symbol of Cambodia's cultural and historical legacy, a silent witness to the rise and fall of an empire that once dominated much of Southeast Asia. The name Angkor Wat means Temple City in Khmer, and it is easy to see why. This vast temple complex, originally constructed as a Hindu temple dedicated to the god Vishnu, covers an area of over 162 hectares, 400 acres, and its intricate stone carvings and towering spires have made it one of the most iconic and recognizable monuments in the world. The central temple is crowned with 5 spires that represent the peaks of Mount Meru, the sacred mountain at the center of the Hindu universe. The grandeur of Angkor Wat is matched only by the precision and artistry of its design, which is believed to have been guided by astronomical alignments, showcasing the sophisticated knowledge of the Khmer architects and builders. Angkor Wat's construction, which took an estimated 30 years, was an immense undertaking involving thousands of laborers, craftsmen, and architects. The temple was built using sandstone blocks that were quarried from a site about 50 kilometers, 31 miles, away. These blocks were then transported to the site and meticulously carved into intricate bas-reliefs depicting scenes from Hindu mythology, royal battles, and daily life. The carvings, many of which are still visible today, cover the walls and corridors of the temple, offering a glimpse into the religious beliefs, social structures, and cultural practices of the Khmer civilization. Despite its origins as a Hindu temple, Angkor Wat gradually became associated with Buddhism over the centuries. By the 14th century, as the Khmer Empire began to decline, Buddhism had replaced Hinduism as the dominant religion in the region, and Angkor Wat was transformed into a Buddhist temple. This shift in religious practices helped to preserve the temple as it continued to be used as a place of worship and pilgrimage throughout the centuries, even as the surrounding city of Angkor fell into ruin. The history of Angkor Wat is inextricably linked to the rise and fall of the Khmer Empire. The empire, which reached its peak in the 12th century under King Suryavarman II, controlled much of Southeast Asia, including present-day Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam. Angkor, the capital city, was a hub of political, religious, and cultural life, and Angkor Wat was the largest and most important temple in the city. It served not only as a religious center, but also as a symbol of the king's power and divine right to rule. However, by the 15th century, the Khmer Empire began to decline, weakened by internal strife, invasions from neighboring kingdoms, and the shifting of trade routes. Angkor, once a thriving metropolis with a population of up to 1 million people, was eventually abandoned. The temple complex of Angkor Wat, however, remained largely intact and continued to serve as a place of worship, though it fell into relative obscurity for centuries as the surrounding city was overtaken by the jungle. It wasn't until the 19th century, when French explorer Henri Mouhot rediscovered Angkor Wat, that the temple complex began to regain its place in the global consciousness. Mouhot's writings and sketches sparked widespread interest in the ruins of Angkor, and over the following decades, archaeological expeditions began to uncover the hidden treasures of the ancient city. The site was eventually recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1992, and today it attracts millions of visitors from around the world, making it one of the most popular tourist destinations in Southeast Asia. Despite the ravages of time, war, and environmental factors, Angkor Wat remains an enduring symbol of Cambodia's rich cultural heritage and spiritual legacy. The temple complex has survived centuries of conflict, including the brutal Khmer Rouge regime in the 1970s, which devastated much of the country. Efforts to preserve and restore Angkor Wat continue as international organizations and the Cambodian government work together to protect the site from further deterioration caused by natural disasters, tourism, and urban development. Angkor Wat's significance extends beyond its architectural splendor and historical importance. It is a symbol of Cambodia's resilience and cultural identity, and it plays a central role in the nation's collective memory. The image of Angkor Wat is featured on Cambodia's national flag, a testament to the temple's enduring importance to the Cambodian people. For those who visit Angkor Wat, the experience is more than just a trip to a historical site. It is a journey into the heart of a once great civilization, a place where the spiritual, cultural, and political forces that shape Southeast Asia come alive through the temple's intricate carvings, grand architecture, and sense of timelessness. As the sun rises over the temple's spires and the shadows of the jungle play across the stone, Angkor Wat remains a powerful reminder of the glory of the Khmer Empire and the enduring legacy of a forgotten kingdom that once ruled the heart of Southeast Asia. Nestled in the Valley of Mexico, just 50 kilometers, 31 miles, northeast of modern-day Mexico City, lies Teotihuacan, one of the most remarkable and enigmatic ancient cities in the Americas. Known as the City of the Gods, Teotihuacan was once a thriving metropolis, home to tens of thousands of people. Its grandeur, sophistication, and colossal structures continue to astound archaeologists, historians, and visitors alike. Despite its impressive size and influence, much of the history and the identity of Teotihuacan's creators remain shrouded in mystery. Today, it stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, preserving the legacy of a civilization that flourished long before the rise of the Aztecs. Teotihuacan's origins date back to around 200 BCE, when it began as a small settlement. By the time it reached its peak between 100 BCE and 750 CE, it had become one of the largest cities in the world, with an estimated population of over 100,000 people. The city was a center of culture, religion, commerce, and political power, exerting significant influence over Mesoamerica. Its strategic location in the Valley of Mexico, along with its sophisticated urban planning, made it a hub for trade, art, and innovation. One of the most striking features of Teotihuacan is its monumental architecture. The city is laid out along a central axis, with several grand structures aligned with astronomical events and cardinal directions. At the heart of Teotihuacan lies the Avenue of the Dead, a wide, paved thoroughfare that stretches for about 2 kilometers, 1.2 miles, from the Pyramid of the Moon at the north end to the Pyramid of the Sun at the south end. This grand avenue, flanked by large platforms and residential complexes, is believed to have been the site of ceremonial processions and rituals. The Pyramid of the Sun is the largest and most iconic structure in Teotihuacan. Standing at 66 meters, 216 feet, tall, it is one of the largest pyramids in the Americas. The pyramid's massive size and precise alignment with the sun during key solstices suggest that it had important astronomical and religious significance. Visitors can climb the pyramid's steep steps to the summit, where they are rewarded with a breathtaking view of the entire city and the surrounding landscape. The pyramid's construction was a monumental feat, with millions of tons of material used to create its massive structure. It remains one of the most impressive examples of pre-Columbian architecture in the world. At the northern end of the Avenue of the Dead lies the Pyramid of the Moon, which is slightly smaller than the Pyramid of the Sun, but equally important. The pyramid is believed to have been dedicated to the goddess of the moon, and it played a central role in the city's religious and ceremonial life. It is surrounded by a number of smaller temples and platforms, which may have been used for rituals, sacrifices, and offerings to the gods. One of the most fascinating aspects of Teotihuacan is the mystery surrounding its inhabitants. The identity of the people who built the city remains unknown, as there are no clear records or inscriptions left behind to indicate their ethnicity, language, or origin. Scholars have debated whether Teotihuacan was inhabited by a single group of people or by various cultures that came together to form a powerful city-state. What is certain is that the city's influence stretched far beyond its borders, with artifacts and architectural styles found in distant regions of Mesoamerica, suggesting that Teotihuacan played a central role in the cultural and political exchange of the time. Teotihuacan was also a hub of artistic and cultural expression. The walls of many of the city's buildings are adorned with vibrant murals depicting scenes of gods, warriors, and everyday life. The murals provide valuable insights into the spiritual beliefs and social structure of the Teotihuacan people. One of the most famous examples of these murals is found in the Palace of the Jaguars, where images of jaguars, serpents, and other powerful animals are painted in vivid colors, symbolizing the gods and the forces of nature. Despite its grandeur and importance, Teotihuacan began to decline around the 7th century CE. The reasons for the city's fall remain unclear, but it is believed that internal strife, resource depletion, and external invasions may have contributed to its eventual abandonment. By the time the Aztecs arrived in the region centuries later, Teotihuacan had already been abandoned for hundreds of years. Nevertheless, the Aztecs held the city in great reverence, considering it to be a place of divine power and a model for their own civilization. They even named it Teotihuacan, which means the place where gods were born in Nahuatl, reflecting their belief that the city had been the birthplace of the gods. Today, Teotihuacan remains a major archaeological site, drawing visitors from around the world who come to marvel at its architectural wonders and to explore the mysteries of its ancient past. Excavations and research continue, revealing new insights into the city's construction, its inhabitants, and its religious practices. The city's pyramids, temples, and murals serve as enduring reminders of a civilization that once ruled the Valley of Mexico and left a profound legacy in the history of Mesoamerica. Visiting Teotihuacan is like stepping back in time to a place of grandeur, mystery, and ancient power. As the sun sets over the pyramids, casting long shadows across the Avenue of the Dead, it is easy to imagine the city in its prime, alive with bustling marketplaces, religious ceremonies, and the hum of a vibrant, powerful civilization. The mysterious city of the gods continues to captivate and inspire, its secrets buried deep in the stone, waiting to be uncovered by those who seek to unlock the mysteries of this ancient metropolis. Babylon, one of the most legendary cities in ancient history, evokes images of immense power, splendor, and mystique. Situated along the banks of the Euphrates River in modern-day Iraq, Babylon was once the epicenter of the Babylonian Empire, a civilization that shaped the course of human history. It was here that some of the greatest architectural feats of the ancient world were realized, and where myth, history, and art converged to create a city that stood as a beacon of culture, science, and divine favor. Today, however, Babylon is a shadow of its former self, reduced to ruins and largely hidden beneath the sands of time. Yet its legacy continues to captivate the imagination of people around the world. Babylon's history stretches back over 4,000 years, with its founding likely dating to the early 3rd millennium B.C.E. However, it was during the reign of King Hammurabi in the 18th century B.C.E. that the city reached its height of power. Hammurabi, one of the most famous rulers in history, is best known for creating one of the earliest and most complete legal codes, known as the Code of Hammurabi. Under his leadership, Babylon became a dominant force in Mesopotamia, expanding its territory and influence over much of the region. The city became a cultural and intellectual hub, attracting scholars, artists, and craftsmen, and its rulers proudly declared Babylon to be the gateway to the gods. Nebuchadnezzar II, one of Babylon's most renowned rulers, also left his mark on the city with the construction of the legendary Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The gardens, which are believed to have been built for Nebuchadnezzar's wife, Amatis of Media, were said to be an awe-inspiring sight. Lush, terraced gardens that appeared to float in the air, supported by a complex system of irrigation. While there is no definitive archaeological evidence proving the existence of the gardens. Ancient texts describe them as a breathtaking marvel, and their image has endured as a symbol of Babylon's grandeur and innovation. Another remarkable feature of ancient Babylon was its ziggurat, a massive stepped pyramid dedicated to the god Marduk. The ziggurat, known as Itamananki, was believed to be the inspiration for the biblical Tower of Babel. The structure was a monumental feat of engineering, towering above the city and reaching a height of over 90 meters, 295 feet. Though only remnants of the ziggurat remain today, the sheer scale and ambition of the structure serve as a testament to the religious fervor and architectural prowess of the Babylonians. Despite its immense cultural and architectural achievements, Babylon's fate was ultimately one of decline. In 539 BCE, the city fell to the Persian king Cyrus the Great, who conquered the Babylonian Empire and effectively ended its rule. Although Babylon continued to exist as a provincial city under Persian and later Greek control, it was no longer the dominant power it once had been. Over the centuries, the city's importance waned, and the rise of new empires in the region, coupled with natural disasters and neglect, led to its gradual abandonment. By the time of the Islamic conquests in the 7th century CE, Babylon had already been reduced to ruins. Today, the site of ancient Babylon lies buried beneath the sands of southern Iraq, near the modern city of Hilla. Archaeological excavations have revealed the remains of many of its once great structures, including the ruins of the Ishtar Gate, parts of the ziggurat, and remnants of the city walls. The site has been designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and efforts are ongoing to preserve and protect it from further damage. However, the city faces numerous challenges, including the impact of modern warfare and political instability in the region, which have made large-scale excavation and preservation efforts difficult. The ruins of Babylon, while awe-inspiring, also serve as a reminder of the fragility of empires and civilizations. Once a thriving metropolis at the heart of the ancient world, Babylon now exists only in the collective memory of humanity, its grandeur fading with time. Yet its influence continues to resonate through history, inspiring countless myths, legends, and works of art. The city's contributions to law, architecture, astronomy, and culture have had a lasting impact on the civilizations that followed, including the Greeks, Romans, and Arabs. In many ways, Babylon represents the ideas of a lost city, its once mighty walls now crumbling, its gardens no longer in bloom, and its towering ziggurat reduced to rubble. Yet the legacy of Babylon lives on, not only in the remnants of its architecture and the stories passed down through the ages, but also in the enduring fascination it holds for modern scholars and visitors. The ancient wonder lost in the sands of time may no longer be the thriving metropolis it once was, but it remains an enduring symbol of human achievement, creativity, and ambition, reminding us of the heights to which civilizations can rise and the inevitable fall that time and nature can bring. The legend of El Dorado, the fabled city of gold, has captivated the imagination of explorers, adventurers, and treasure hunters for centuries. El Dorado is one of the most enduring myths of the Americas, a tale that weaves together themes of wealth, power, and the pursuit of elusive riches. The story of this golden city, which is said to have been hidden somewhere in the dense jungles of South America, has fueled countless expeditions and quests throughout history, yet the city itself has never been found. Its myth, born from a mix of indigenous traditions and the fervent desires of European explorers, continues to intrigue and mystify. The origins of the El Dorado myth are closely tied to the early Spanish exploration of the Americas. In the 16th century, when European conquerors first arrived on the continent, they encountered various indigenous cultures with rich traditions, myths, and customs. One of the most influential sources of the El Dorado story came from the Muisca people of present-day Colombia. According to Muisca legend, their rulers would perform a ritual in which the newly crowned king would cover his body in gold dust and then dive into Lake Guatavita, a sacred body of water. This ceremonial act, combined with the discovery of gold artifacts in the region, led the Spanish to believe that there was a vast hidden city made entirely of gold. As the myth spread, El Dorado became a symbol of an unattainable paradise, a city where riches beyond imagination were waiting to be discovered. The Spanish, driven by greed and a desire to expand their empire, began searching for this golden city, which they believed lay somewhere deep in the interior of the South American continent. One of the earliest expeditions was led by the conquistador Gonzalo Pizarro in the 1530s, who ventured into the Andes in search of wealth and glory. Although Pizarro and others came across gold, they never found the fabled city of El Dorado, and many of these expeditions ended in failure or tragedy. The myth of El Dorado was further popularized by the writings of explorers such as Sir Walter Raleigh, an Englishman who conducted several expeditions to South America in the late 16th century. Raleigh's accounts of his search for El Dorado helped cement the idea of a golden city hidden in the Amazon rainforest or the Andes Mountains. His tales of untold riches and lost civilizations ignited the imaginations of people across Europe and encouraged a series of expeditions in search of the legendary city. Despite numerous attempts, no one ever found El Dorado. By the late 17th century, it became clear that the Golden City was more a myth than reality. Scholars and historians began to question whether El Dorado was a tangible place at all, or whether it had simply been a metaphor for the greed and ambition of the Spanish conquistadors. Some even suggested that El Dorado was not a city, but rather a symbol of wealth or a mythic ideal. The myth persisted, however, and continued to evolve over the centuries. The search for El Dorado, while ultimately unsuccessful, had a lasting impact on the exploration and mapping of South America. The quests for the Golden City led to the discovery of important geographical features, such as the headwaters of the Amazon River and the highlands of the Andes. While these expeditions did not find gold in the quantities they had hoped for, they opened up new trade routes, expanded knowledge of the continent's terrain, and brought European awareness to the complex civilizations of the indigenous peoples. In modern times, El Dorado has taken on a different meaning, as the idea of the city of gold has been adopted in literature, film, and pop culture. It represents not just a literal quest for treasure borer, but the broader themes of human greed, ambition, and the consequences of the pursuit of wealth. The myth has become a metaphor for unattainable goals, representing the idea that sometimes the journey itself, filled with hardship, sacrifice, and disappointment, can be just as important as the goal. The search for El Dorado has also sparked renewed interest in the lost cities and civilizations of the Americas. Archaeologists and explorers continue to uncover evidence of ancient cultures that flourished long before the arrival of Europeans, including the Inca Empire, the Maya, and the Aztecs. These civilizations were known for their vast wealth, advanced knowledge, and intricate architecture, and some of them may have contributed to the El Dorado legend. For example, the Inca Empire, with its sophisticated engineering and abundant gold, might have fueled the idea of a golden city hidden in the mountains. Today, the story of El Dorado continues to resonate with people around the world. It is a symbol of the enduring human fascination with treasure, the unknown, and the idea that there are still mysteries left to be solved. Some believe that the Golden City still exists, waiting to be uncovered by a new generation of explorers. Others see it as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of unchecked greed and the belief that material wealth is the ultimate prize. While the search for El Dorado may have been fruitless, the legacy of this mythical city endures. It has inspired generations of adventurers and storytellers, and its myth continues to captivate our imaginations. El Dorado may not be a real city, but the quest for it speaks to something deeper within the human spirit, a desire for discovery, a thirst for adventure, and a hope that hidden treasures still await those bold enough to seek them. Cahokia, once the largest and most sophisticated pre-Columbian settlement north of Mexico, remains one of the greatest archaeological mysteries of North America. Located near present-day St. Louis, Missouri, Cahokia was the heart of the Mississippian culture, a thriving civilization that flourished from around 600 CE to 1400 CE. Despite its once mighty influence, Cahokia was abandoned long before European settlers arrived in the Americas, leaving behind only its monumental earthworks and the echoes of a civilization that has long since vanished. Today, Cahokia is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, preserving the legacy of this remarkable city that once stood as a beacon of culture, trade, and power. Cahokia's rise and fall are closely tied to the development of the Mississippian culture, a Native American society that flourished along the Mississippi River and its tributaries. The Mississippians were primarily agricultural, growing crops such as corn, beans, and squash, which allowed them to settle in permanent villages. Around 600 CE, Cahokia began to emerge as a significant settlement, benefiting from its location near rich floodplains, which made the area ideal for agriculture and trade. By the 11th century, Cahokia had grown into a sprawling urban center with an estimated population of 10,000 to 20,000 people at its peak. This made it one of the largest cities in the world at the time, rivaling some of the great civilizations of Europe, Asia, and Mesoamerica. The city's layout was meticulously planned, with distinct districts for residential, ceremonial, and political activities. At its heart was the Monk's Mound, the largest earthen pyramid in North America, which stood as a symbol of the city's power and religious significance. Monk's Mound was used for both ceremonial purposes and as the residence of Cahokia's elite rulers. The Mississippians who lived in Cahokia were skilled engineers and architects. The city was built using an intricate system of earthen mounds, plazas, and wooden structures, all arranged with careful attention to astronomical alignments. Some of these mounds were used as burial sites for the elite, while others served as platforms for temples, homes, or council buildings. The woodhenge, a circular arrangement of wooden posts, was used as an astronomical observatory to mark the solstices and equinoxes, reflecting the Mississippians' deep knowledge of the heavens. At its height, Cahokia was a hub of commerce and culture. It was strategically located at the confluence of several major rivers, making it an ideal center for trade. The city's residents traded goods such as pottery, copper, shell, and turquoise, which were highly valued throughout the Mississippian world. Cahokia's influence spread far beyond its borders, with artifacts found as far away as the Great Lakes, the Gulf of Mexico, and the southeastern United States. This vast trade network helped cement Cahokia's role as a powerful cultural and economic center. The society of Cahokia was highly structured, with a clear distinction between the elites and common people. The rulers of Cahokia, often referred to as the Great Sun and his council, held significant religious and political power. These leaders were believed to have a divine connection to the gods, and their authority was reinforced by the grandiose structures and rituals that took place in the city. The elite lived in large platformed houses near Monk's Mound, while commoners lived in smaller, more modest homes on the outskirts of the city. Despite its success, the story of Cahokia is one of mystery and decline. By the late 13th century, the city began to experience significant social, political, and environmental challenges. Scholars believe that a combination of factors, including climate change, deforestation, soil depletion, and political instability, contributed to the city's decline. The once thriving metropolis saw a drop in population, and by the early 14th century, Cahokia had been largely abandoned. The reasons for its abandonment remain unclear, but it is possible that the collapse of the city's agricultural base, combined with internal conflict, played a role in its fall. Today, the remains of Cahokia provide a glimpse into a lost civilization that once ruled the American Midwest. The city's massive earthen mounds, especially Monk's Mound, are still visible and serve as a reminder of the remarkable achievements of the Mississippian people. Archaeologists continue to study the site, uncovering new artifacts and insights into the lives of the people who lived there. Excavations have revealed an array of pottery, tools, and ceremonial items, shedding light on the daily lives, beliefs, and social structure of the Cahokians. One of the most fascinating aspects of Cahokia is the mystery surrounding its sudden decline. While many ancient civilizations experienced gradual declines, Cahokia's collapse was relatively rapid. Some theories suggest that warfare or environmental degradation, such as flooding or droughts, may have played a role in the city's downfall. Others believe that the complex political and social systems of the city may have led to internal strife that contributed to its collapse. Regardless of the cause, the disappearance of Cahokia remains one of the great unsolved mysteries of North American history. Cahokia's legacy, however, endures. The site continues to be an important cultural and historical landmark, attracting visitors from around the world who come to learn about the Mississippian people and their remarkable achievements. The city of Cahokia represents a fascinating chapter in the history of North America, highlighting the advanced technologies, complex social structures, and vibrant cultures that existed long before the arrival of Europeans. Its story reminds us of the rich and diverse heritage of the indigenous peoples of the Americas, and the lessons we can learn from their rise and fall. In a world where ancient cities and civilizations often fade into the annals of time, Cahokia stands as a testament to the ingenuity, creativity, and resilience of the Mississippian people, a lost city that continues to inspire awe and wonder, even centuries after its fall. Chichen Itza, one of the most famous archaeological sites in Mexico, stands as a testament to the advanced civilization of the ancient Maya. Located in the heart of the Yucatan Peninsula, this once thriving city was a political, economic, and religious center of the Maya civilization between the 7th and 10th centuries. Today, Chichen Itza remains a symbol of the Mayas' architectural ingenuity, their understanding of astronomy, and their rich cultural heritage. It is one of the most visited archaeological sites in the world and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, attracting millions of visitors each year. The origins of Chichen Itza date back to around 600 CE, although its most significant growth and importance occurred between 800 and 1000 CE. The name Chichen Itza translates to "at the mouth of the well of the Itza," referring to the nearby sacred cenote, a natural sinkhole that played a key role in Maya religious practices. The city's location strategically placed near fresh water sources and fertile lands, made it an ideal spot for a major urban center. Its geographical location, close to important trade routes, also helped it become a hub for commerce, with goods such as cacao, jade, and textiles flowing through the city from various parts of Mesoamerica. One of the most iconic structures in Chichen Itza is the Pyramid of Kukulkan, also known as El Castillo. This massive step pyramid, dedicated to the feathered serpent god Kukulkan, is not only an architectural marvel, but also a remarkable feat of astronomical precision. The pyramid stands at 98 feet tall and has a base that measures 180 feet on each side. El Castillo is aligned with the solstices in a way that creates a stunning visual effect. During the spring and autumn equinoxes, the shadow of the setting sun appears to form the shape of a serpent slithering down the pyramid steps, symbolizing the descent of Kukulkan. This demonstrates the Mayas' deep understanding of the cosmos and their ability to incorporate this knowledge into their architectural designs. Another key structure in Chichen Itza is the Great Ball Court, the largest and best preserved ball court in Mesoamerica. The Maya played a ball game known as Poke Atak, which held great religious and political significance. The ball court at Chichen Itza measures 168 meters in length, and its walls are decorated with carvings depicting players in action. The game was often seen as a symbolic reenactment of the Maya creation myth, with the players representing the gods, and its outcome believed to affect the balance between life and death. Some interpretations suggest that the game had ritualistic elements, and the victors may have been rewarded, while the losers, particularly if the game was tied to sacrifices, may have faced a far grimmer fate. The Temple of the Warriors is another striking feature of Chichen Itza, with a large columned hall that supports a series of statues representing warriors. This temple is thought to have been a center for both religious and political activities. It offers a glimpse into the complex structure of Maya society, where the ruling elite held both spiritual and military power. The temple is surrounded by hundreds of columns, many of which are adorned with carvings that depict warriors, jaguars, and eagles, reflecting the importance of warfare and conquest in Maya society. Despite its glory, Chichen Itza, like many other ancient cities, eventually fell into decline. By the end of the 10th century, the city began to lose its political and economic influence. The reasons for Chichen Itza's decline are not fully understood, but it is believed that factors such as climate change, overpopulation, resource depletion, and internal political struggles may have played a role. By the time the Spanish arrived in the region in the 16th century, Chichen Itza had already been abandoned. Today, Chichen Itza stands as a symbol of the remarkable achievements of the Maya civilization. Its stunning architecture, complex urban planning, and astronomical alignments continue to fascinate scholars and visitors alike. The site has also played a crucial role in preserving Maya culture and heritage, with ongoing archaeological excavations and efforts to protect the site from further damage. In 2007, Chichen Itza was named one of the new 7 Wonders of the World, solidifying its place as one of the most significant cultural and historical sites on the planet. Chichen Itza's legacy endures, not only as a reminder of the Maya civilization's greatness, but also as a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of the people who built it, the city's architectural wonders, its role in Maya religious practices, and its historical significance continue to inspire awe and admiration, ensuring that Chichen Itza remains a vital part of the cultural landscape of Mexico and the world. Mycenae, one of the most iconic archaeological sites in Greece, holds a special place in both history and legend. Located in the northeastern part of the Peloponnese, Mycenae was once a powerful city-state that flourished during the Late Bronze Age, around 1600 BCE to 1100 BCE. This ancient city, which is steeped in myth and history, was the home of King Agamemnon, a central figure in Greek mythology, particularly in the tales of the Trojan War. Today, Mycenae stands as a remarkable testament to the ingenuity and culture of the ancient Greeks, showcasing their advanced engineering, rich artistic traditions, and complex social and political structures. The first traces of Mycenaean civilization can be traced back to the early Bronze Age, but it was during the height of the Mycenaean civilization, around 1400 BCE, that the city became a major center of power in the Aegean world. It rose to prominence as the capital of the Mycenaean kingdom, which spanned much of the southern Greek mainland and had influence over surrounding islands and regions. Mycenae's strategic location on a fortified hilltop provided the city with both defense and dominance over the surrounding plain, ensuring its status as a powerful city-state. The city of Mycenae was a marvel of its time, both in terms of its architectural complexity and its cultural sophistication. The most iconic feature of the city is its imposing Lion Gate, the monumental entrance to the citadel, which was constructed around 1250 BCE. The Lion Gate, named after the two lion statues carved into the stone above the entrance, is a masterpiece of Mycenaean art and engineering. The massive stones used in its construction, known as Cyclopean masonry, were so large that ancient Greeks believed only the mythical Cyclopes, giant one-eyed creatures, could have moved and placed them. The Lion Gate serves as a symbolic entryway into the heart of the Mycenaean civilization, which was built on the foundations of advanced architecture, military power, and rich cultural traditions. Inside the citadel, a network of palaces, administrative buildings, and tombs awaited discovery. One of the most significant structures within Mycenae is the Palace of Agamemnon, which was likely the residence of the legendary king himself. The palace was a grand building that featured a large central courtyard, living quarters, a throne room, and various storage and service areas. The palaces of Mycenae were not only royal residences, but also centers for governance and administration, where the king and his officials would have conducted political and economic affairs. Mycenae's wealth was derived in part from its extensive trade networks, which stretched across the Aegean Sea and beyond. The Mycenaeans traded goods such as pottery, textiles, olive oil, and wine with neighboring civilizations in the Mediterranean, including the Minoans on Crete, the Hittites in Anatolia, and the Egyptians. The city's wealth is evident in the discovery of luxurious items, such as finely crafted gold jewelry, weapons, and frescoes, which provide insight into the artistic and cultural achievements of the Mycenaeans. One of the most famous discoveries at Mycenae is the Mask of Agamemnon, a funerary mask made of gold that was found in the shaft graves of the royal cemetery at Mycenae. This iconic artifact, although debated by scholars in terms of its authenticity, remains a symbol of the grandeur and opulence of the Mycenaean elite. The Mycenaean civilization was deeply intertwined with Greek mythology, and Mycenae, as the legendary home of Agamemnon, played a central role in many of the epic tales of the ancient Greeks. Agamemnon, the king of Mycenae, is perhaps best known for his role in the Iliad, where he leads the Greek forces against Troy in the Trojan War. The myth of Agamemnon is marked by themes of honor, betrayal, and divine retribution, particularly surrounding his return from the war. According to legend, Agamemnon's wife, Clytemnestra, murdered him upon his return home as revenge for sacrificing their daughter Iphigenia to the gods in order to secure favorable winds for the Greek fleet. This tragic story has been told and retold in various forms, from the epic poems of Homer to the tragic plays of Aeschylus. Beyond the myths, the history of Mycenae is intertwined with the complex political and military structure of the Mycenaean world. The Mycenaeans were known for their fortified cities and their military prowess, which were crucial to their dominance in the Aegean. The shaft graves at Mycenae, which were discovered by the archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann in the 19th century, provide evidence of the city's elite class. These graves contain the remains of royals and high-ranking individuals, along with an astonishing array of grave goods, including weapons, pottery, and precious metals. The treasures found in these graves illustrate the wealth and status of the rulers of Mycenae. Despite its prosperity, Mycenae, like many ancient civilizations, eventually fell into decline. By around 1100 BCE, the Mycenaean Saibai, the ancient city of Knossos, located on the island of Crete, is one of the most important and intriguing archaeological sites in the Mediterranean. Known for its sprawling palace complex, intricate architecture, and vibrant frescoes, Knossos was the center of the Minoan civilization, which flourished from around 1900 BCE to 1450 BCE. This ancient city, often associated with the legend of King Minos and the labyrinth, provides invaluable insights into the advanced culture, art, and technology of the Minoans. The Palace of Knossos, which dominates the archaeological site, was not just a royal residence, but also a political, religious, and cultural hub for the Minoans. The palace complex is vast, covering an area of over 20,000 square meters, and it consists of numerous rooms, courtyards, storage areas, and ceremonial halls. It is believed that the palace was the seat of power for the Minoan rulers, with the mythical king Minos often associated with this grand structure. The palace's labyrinthine design, featuring a maze of interconnected rooms, corridors, and staircases, likely inspired the myth of the Minotaur, the half-man, half-bull creature said to dwell within the labyrinth. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Palace of Knossos is its advanced architecture and engineering. The Minoans were pioneers in the use of building materials and techniques that were far ahead of their time. The palace was constructed using large blocks of limestone, mud brick, and timber, with walls often decorated with intricate frescoes that depict scenes of daily life, religious rituals, and nature. The Minoans also incorporated features such as plumbing systems, drainage systems, and light wells, which were innovative for their time. These features suggest that the Minoans had a sophisticated understanding of sanitation, water management, and building design, which contributed to the comfort and functionality of the palace. The frescoes that adorn the walls of Knossos provide a vivid glimpse into the life and culture of the Minoans. These colorful wall paintings depict a variety of scenes, including processions, bull leaping, religious ceremonies, and scenes of nature. One of the most famous frescoes from Knossos is the Fresco of the Dolphins, which depicts a vibrant marine scene with dolphins swimming amid swirling patterns. This fresco is believed to reflect the Minoans' deep connection to the sea, which played a central role in their economy, trade, and culture. The labyrinth of Knossos is perhaps the most famous aspect of the palace, largely due to the Greek myth of the Minotaur. According to the legend, King Minos commissioned the construction of a vast labyrinth to imprison the monstrous Minotaur, the offspring of his wife, Pasiphae, and a bull. The hero Theseus eventually slays the Minotaur with the help of Minos's daughter Ariadne, who provides him with a ball of thread to help him navigate the maze. While the existence of the Minotaur is purely mythical, the maze-like design of the palace, with its many winding corridors and rooms, may have inspired the story. Although there is no direct evidence linking the myth to the architecture of Knossos, the complex layout of the palace, with its many interconnecting rooms and hallways, certainly evokes the idea of a labyrinth. The palace itself has been described as a maze due to its size and complexity, and it is believed that the design was intentionally intricate to reflect the power and mystery of the Minoan rulers. The palace was likely a center of both political authority and religious activity, with its many shrines and sacred spaces further reinforcing its importance in Minoan society. Knossos was also home to a thriving artistic culture that produced remarkable works of art, including pottery, sculpture, and jewelry. The Minoans were known for their skill in creating beautiful and functional objects, many of which have been uncovered in the ruins of Knossos. The pottery, in particular, is highly valued for its intricate designs and vibrant colors, often depicting animals, plants, and geometric patterns. The Minoans' craftsmanship and artistic achievements reflect the advanced nature of their society and their appreciation for beauty and aesthetics. The collapse of Knossos and the end of the Minoan civilization remains a subject of debate among historians and archaeologists. It is widely believed that the Minoans were impacted by a series of natural disasters, including the catastrophic eruption of the Santorini volcano around 1450 BCE, which caused widespread destruction across the Aegean region. This eruption may have contributed to the decline of Knossos, which was eventually abandoned. However, the reasons for the ultimate fall of the Minoan civilization are complex and likely involve a combination of environmental, political, and social factors. Today, the Palace of Knossos is one of the most significant archaeological sites in Greece, attracting visitors from around the world. Excavations at the site, which began in the early 20th century under the direction of British archaeologist Sir Arthur Evans, have uncovered much of the palace's layout, including the central courtyards, ceremonial halls, and residential areas. The site is open to the public, and visitors can explore the ruins of the palace, view the reconstructed frescoes, and learn about the fascinating history of the Minoan civilization. The ancient city of Troy, famously immortalized in Homer's epic The Iliad, is one of the most intriguing archaeological sites in the world. Known primarily for its association with the legendary Trojan War, Troy bridges the gap between myth and historical reality, captivating both scholars and visitors with its mysterious past. Located in modern-day Turkey near the Dardanelles Strait, the ruins of Troy have revealed a complex and rich history that stretches back thousands of years, with its famous siege offering insight into both the mythology and the reality of the ancient world. Troy's legendary status largely stems from its role in the Iliad, where it is depicted as the site of a 10-year siege by the Greek forces. According to the myth, the war began after Paris, a prince of Troy, abducted Helen, the wife of the Greek king Menelaus. In retaliation, a Greek army led by Agamemnon, Menelaus's brother, laid siege to Troy in a conflict that lasted for a decade. The war culminates in the fall of Troy, famously aided by the use of the Trojan horse, a cunning ruse employed by the Greeks to infiltrate the city's walls. The story of the Trojan War, filled with gods, heroes, and tragic figures, has captured the imagination of readers and listeners for centuries. However, the existence of Troy and its connection to the events described in Homer's works was once considered purely mythical. The idea of a great city like Troy being besieged by the Greeks seemed more the stuff of legend than history. That changed in the 19th century when the German archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann began excavations at a site in modern-day Turkey which he believed to be the ancient city of Troy. Schliemann's discovery of a large ancient city at the site, which he named Hisarlik, provided physical evidence that Troy was not just a myth but a real place with a long and complex history. Schliemann's excavations uncovered layers of ruins that date back to several periods of occupation, spanning over 4,000 years. These layers reveal evidence of destruction, suggesting that the city had indeed suffered significant military attacks at various points in its history. The most famous of these layers is Troy 7A, which Schliemann and later archaeologists believed to represent the city described in the Iliad. Evidence of violent destruction, including burnt ruins and arrowheads, led many to believe that Troy was indeed the site of a historical war, although the exact date of its fall remains debated. Troy was originally a modest settlement during the early Bronze Age, but it grew to prominence around 1700 BCE as a strategic trading hub. Its location near the Dardanelles made it an important point of control over the flow of goods between the Aegean Sea and the Black Sea. As a result, Troy flourished as a rich and powerful city-state. The fortifications around the city, which were strengthened and rebuilt multiple times over the centuries, are a testament to Troy's strategic importance and the city's ability to defend itself against invasions. The city's most famous feature is its towering walls, which Homer describes as being of great strength and able to withstand a long siege. The walls of Troy, which can still be seen today, are made of massive stones and are among the most impressive examples of ancient fortification. The archaeological remains of the city reveal the layout of its streets, homes, and public buildings, providing a window into the everyday life of its inhabitants. In addition to its impressive architecture, Troy was also a center of art and culture. The ruins of Troy reveal evidence of advanced craftsmanship, including pottery, jewelry, and tools that reflect the city's sophisticated society. The Minoan influence is also evident in the art of Troy, particularly in the frescoes and pottery found in the city, which show scenes of nature, animals, and ceremonial life. While the myth of the Trojan War may have inspired much of the city's legendary status, it is the real history of Troy that has had a lasting impact on our understanding of the ancient world. The remains of Troy show that it was a thriving city for several millennia, and its connections to various civilizations, including the Greeks, Hittites, and Minoans, demonstrate its significance as a crossroads of cultures. This evidence of cultural exchange and military conflict enriches our understanding of Troy as both a mythic symbol and a real-world city-state. The fall of Troy, as described in the myth, has always been a subject of great interest. According to legend, the Greeks built a massive wooden horse hollowed out to hold soldiers and left it as a supposed gift to the Trojans. Believing they had won the war, the Trojans brought the horse into their city, only for the Greek soldiers to emerge at night and open the gates to allow the rest of the Greek army to enter. The city was sacked, and Troy's destruction marked the end of an era. The archaeological site of Troy has continued to captivate modern-day scholars, and ongoing excavations continue to shed light on the city's history, though much of the mythological narrative surrounding Troy remains unclear. The archaeological evidence confirms that Troy was an important center of culture, trade, and warfare. The connection between myth and reality in the case of Troy is a reminder of the power of storytelling, which can immortalize a real place and turn it into legend. Today, Troy is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, attracting thousands of visitors each year who come to explore the ruins and immerse themselves in both the history and mythology of this ancient city. Whether you are drawn to the historical facts, the archaeological discoveries, or the mythical tales, the city of Troy remains one of the most compelling and mysterious sights in the ancient world, a place where myth and reality meet and continue to intrigue us. Tucked away in the picturesque region of Kintyre on the west coast of Scotland lies the mysterious and somewhat forgotten village of Machrihanish. The name may be familiar to those with an interest in Scottish history or geography, but this small village holds a secret, its fascinating story, which blends legend with historical reality, is not as widely known as some other iconic places in Scotland. Machrihanich's tale is one of rediscovery of a place that was once bustling with life, but has since faded into obscurity, its history obscured by the ravages of time and the elements. Machrihanish, which is located near the village of Campbelltown, was once a thriving community, particularly in the 18th and 19th centuries during the height of the Industrial Revolution. The village's location near the sea and its proximity to important trade routes made it an ideal place for maritime commerce. At the time, the town enjoyed a modest prosperity thanks to local industries such as fishing, farming, and the production of peat. The nearby Machrihanish Bay provided a safe harbor for ships, and the coastal location allowed the community to engage in trade with other parts of Scotland, Ireland, and beyond. Machrihanish's popularity began to decline in the early 20th century. A series of factors, including changes in trade routes, industrialization in nearby towns, and the depopulation of rural areas, led to the gradual abandonment of the village. It is believed that by the mid-20th century, Machrihanish was effectively deserted, with most of its residents leaving for larger towns and cities in search of work. As the population dwindled, so did the village's infrastructure. Buildings fell into disrepair, and much of the village's once thriving community faded into memory. Despite the abandonment of Machrihanish as a residential village, its legacy remains an important part of the region's history. The village is believed to have been a key location in the early development of Scotland's coastal infrastructure, especially in relation to maritime commerce. Its legacy as a trading hub, even if short-lived, marks an important chapter in Scotland's rural development during a time of significant change. The most intriguing aspect of Machrihanish, however, is its mysterious disappearance from the historical records. As the village's buildings decayed and nature took over, it became increasingly difficult to find any trace of the settlement. This, combined with the lack of comprehensive historical records, has led to an aura of mystery surrounding Machrihanish. Many locals speak of the village as a lost place, one that is now difficult to locate, even for those who are familiar with the area. Some stories suggest that the village's decline was linked to a catastrophic event, such as a storm or natural disaster, but no definitive evidence has been found to support these claims. For historians and archaeologists, Machrihanish presents an opportunity to study the forgotten histories of rural Scotland, and recent excavations in the area have uncovered fascinating artifacts that shed light on the daily life of its former inhabitants. Some of the most significant discoveries include old fishing tools, pottery, and remnants of buildings that hint at the craftsmanship and industrious nature of the people who lived there. These artifacts have helped to paint a picture of the village as a vibrant community that was once at the heart of local trade and commerce. The Machrihanish Bay area, in particular, continues to attract visitors, not just for its historical significance, but also for its natural beauty. The bay is known for its stunning views, sandy beaches, and a rich biodiversity, making it a popular spot for birdwatching and outdoor activities like hiking, surfing, and golf. The nearby Machrihanish Golf Club, one of Scotland's oldest and most renowned courses, sits on land that was once part of the village. This golf course, with its spectacular coastal views, is now one of the area's most important landmarks and a reminder of the historical significance of the region. Machrihanish's status as a lost village has also contributed to its mythical status in local folklore. Some stories tell of strange occurrences in the area, such as reports of ghostly apparitions or the feeling of an unseen presence when walking along the shore. These tales, whether based on fact or imagination, add an element of intrigue to the village's already mysterious history. The idea of Machrihanish being lost to time gives it an air of the mythical, a place that exists not just in the physical world, but in the collective imagination of those who remember it or who have heard the legends associated with it. Despite the challenges of uncovering the full story of Machrihanish, the village's legacy endures. It stands as a testament to the resilience and resourcefulness of its people, who managed to create a thriving community in a remote part of Scotland. Though the village itself may be long gone, the memories of those who once called it home live on through the history, the tales, and the artifacts that have been uncovered in recent years. Today, the site of the lost village continues to attract historians, archaeologists, and tourists alike. As excavations continue, there may be even more to uncover about Machrihanish past, further shedding light on this once-forgotten corner of Scotland. The village's story is a reminder of how quickly time can erase the marks of human presence, and how history, both real and imagined, can be shaped by the places we leave behind. Machrihanish may no longer be a bustling village, but it remains an important part of Scotland's past, a reminder of a bygone era where the land, the sea, and the people all played vital roles in shaping the nation's heritage. The story of Ubar, often referred to as the Atlantis of the Sands, is a tale steeped in mystery, legend, and intrigue. This ancient city, lost to time in the shifting sands of the Arabian desert, has captured the imagination of explorers, archaeologists, and adventurers for centuries. Its exact location remains one of the most sought-after secrets in the world, with its disappearance shrouded in myth, and its discovery often compared to finding the fabled Atlantis of the West. Ubar's legend first entered the public consciousness through the writings of ancient Arabic scholars and poets. The city was described as a wealthy, prosperous, and powerful kingdom located deep in the deserts of Arabia. In the 9th century, the Arab historian and geographer Ibn Khordadbeh mentioned a city called Iram, which was said to have been a thriving hub of trade and culture. According to Islamic texts, Iram was ruled by a people who had wealth, grandeur, and military prowess. However, they were also described as being prideful, arrogant, and decadent, living in excess and defying divine commandments. The most famous reference to Ubar appears in the Quran, where it is described as a city destroyed by God for its inhabitants' immorality and wickedness. In the Quranic story, the people of Ubar are punished for their sins when a powerful storm of sand and dust engulfed the city, causing it to vanish beneath the desert sands. This biblical-like narrative of divine retribution has fueled the myth of Ubar for centuries, giving it an air of mystery and awe. Its destruction is often likened to the fate of the legendary Sodom and Gomorrah, cities lost to time after divine intervention. For centuries, the location of Ubar remained a subject of speculation. Some scholars and travelers believed that the city was located in the empty quarter, Rab al-Khali, the vast desert expanse in the southern Arabian Peninsula. This region, one of the driest and most inhospitable places on Earth, became the focal point for many explorers who hoped to find the lost city. The story of Ubar was often entwined with other desert legends, and it was thought that finding the ruins of the city could unlock the mysteries of the ancient world. In the early 20th century, the search for Ubar gained new momentum when the explorer Wilfred Thesiger and other adventurers began mapping the vast reaches of the Arabian desert. However, it wasn't until the 1990s that significant progress was made in pinpointing a potential location for the legendary city. Using satellite imagery, a team of archaeologists and researchers led by Dr. David Kennedy discovered a series of ancient ruins in the Oman Desert, which bore striking similarities to the descriptions of Ubar. The ruins were found to contain evidence of an ancient settlement, complete with fortifications, roads, and elaborate irrigation systems, suggesting that this might indeed be the lost city mentioned in the myths. These findings were groundbreaking as they linked the ancient city of Ubar with an actual archaeological site. The ruins, known as Ubar's Ruins, or Iram, of the Pillars, are located in the Dhofar region of Oman, near the border with Yemen. The city is believed to have been a center of trade, with its location strategically placed along ancient caravan routes. The abundance of precious goods, including frankincense, which was highly valued in the ancient world, suggests that Ubar was a wealthy and influential city. The pillars mentioned in the Quranic texts are thought to refer to the grand columns or towers that may have once adorned the city's structures. Ubar's most distinctive feature, however, may have been its advanced engineering and architecture. Evidence of a complex water management system, including wells, cisterns, and canals, has been found at the site, indicating that the inhabitants had mastered the art of desert survival. The city's strategic location in the desert may have also made it a crucial stop for traders crossing the vast Arabian Peninsula, further adding to its wealth and cultural significance. Despite these tantalizing clues, the mystery of Ubar's fate remains unresolved. The most widely accepted theory is that the city was abandoned or destroyed due to a combination of factors, including desertification, climate change, and possibly a natural disaster. The region surrounding Ubar is prone to violent sandstorms, and it is conceivable that such a storm could have caused the city to be buried beneath layers of sand, disappearing from the historical record. Alternatively, some believe that the city's destruction may have been a result of divine wrath, as described in the Quranic legend, a punishment for the city's corruption and immorality. The discovery of Ubar's ruins has only fueled the mystery, and while it is widely regarded as the likely location of the lost city, there are still many unanswered questions. Archaeological excavations at the site continue, with researchers uncovering new artifacts and information that shed light on the ancient civilization that once thrived there. Among the most intriguing findings are ancient inscriptions, pottery, and remnants of walls that provide insight into the daily life and culture of the people who lived in the city. Yet, despite these discoveries, the true extent of Ubar's significance in the ancient world remains elusive. Today, Ubar is not just a symbol of lost grandeur, but also a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of the ancient peoples of the Arabian Peninsula. Whether or not Ubar was truly the mythical Atlantis of the sands, its rediscovery has provided valuable insights into the history of the region and its once thriving civilizations. As archaeologists continue to investigate the site, the story of Ubar will likely evolve, revealing more secrets about one of the world's most fascinating and enigmatic lost cities. Deep within the heart of the Amazon rainforest, shrouded in mystery and legend, lies the story of the lost city of Z, an ancient city that is said to have been built by an advanced civilization long before the arrival of European explorers. For centuries, the city has captured the imagination of adventurers, archaeologists, and historians alike, sparking numerous expeditions and theories about its existence. Its allure is amplified by the fact that no definitive proof of its location has ever been found, and the search for it has cost many lives. The tale of the lost city of Z begins in the early 20th century with the daring expeditions of a British explorer named Percy Harrison Fawcett. Fawcett was a skilled and experienced explorer who had made several successful expeditions to South America. During one of these ventures, he became fascinated by the idea that an ancient, highly advanced civilization once thrived in the remote parts of the Amazon basin. Fawcett had heard stories from local indigenous tribes about a great city deep within the jungle, a place they referred to as Z. Fawcett's theory about the lost city of Z was based on his own experiences and a combination of ancient texts and local legends. He believed that the ancient city had been the center of a powerful civilization with remarkable technological achievements, which was eventually abandoned and forgotten. According to Fawcett, this civilization was advanced enough to construct monumental structures, with grand cities that had been swallowed by the vastness of the Amazon jungle over centuries. He even claimed that these ruins could still be found, hidden among the dense foliage and wildlife of the rainforest. In 1920, Fawcett set out on his first expedition to find the city, and soon became more determined than ever to uncover its secrets. Over the years, he collected evidence that suggested a lost civilization might indeed have once existed in the Amazon, far beyond the rudimentary societies that early explorers had encountered. Fawcett came to believe that the city of Z was located in the unexplored regions of Brazil, close to the borders of Bolivia. He spent many years gathering information from local tribes, studying maps, and researching ancient artifacts, all of which seemed to point toward the existence of a forgotten city hidden deep in the jungle. Fawcett's expedition to find the lost city of Z gained widespread attention, particularly when he proposed his final and most ambitious journey to locate it in the 1920s. He outlined his plans for a final expedition in which he would lead a team into the heart of the jungle. His belief in the existence of the city was so strong that he was convinced he could find it, no matter how remote or perilous the search would be. Fawcett's theories and his passion for discovery inspired a sense of excitement among many who followed his journey, but it was also met with skepticism by others who believed the idea of such a city was purely fantasy. In 1925, Fawcett and his team embarked on the ill-fated expedition that would make history. Armed with maps, local accounts, and a deep sense of optimism, Fawcett set off with his son Jack and a friend, Arthur Manby, to find the lost city of Z. However, as the expedition ventured deeper into the jungle, they faced dangerous conditions, unpredictable weather, and constant challenges. The dense forest, filled with venomous snakes, insects, and wild animals, made the journey incredibly difficult. Despite these challenges, Fawcett pressed on, determined to reach the city he believed was just ahead. Sadly, Fawcett's final expedition ended in tragedy. In 1925, communication with Fawcett and his team was lost, and they disappeared without a trace. Extensive search parties were sent to the region, but no evidence of the expedition was ever found. The fate of Percy Fawcett, his son, and his companion remains one of the great mysteries of exploration. Their disappearance only served to add to the legend of the lost city of Z, turning it into a symbol of mystery and the dangers of the Amazon. Over the years, many other explorers have attempted to retrace Fawcett's steps in search of the lost city of Z, but none have been able to locate it. The jungle is vast and uncharted in many areas, and the ever-changing environment of the Amazon has likely obscured any trace of the ancient civilization Fawcett believed existed. Nonetheless, the legend of the lost city of Z continues to captivate people around the world, fueling speculation about what may lie hidden beneath the dense canopy of the rainforest. In recent years, technological advancements have allowed archaeologists and explorers to search the Amazon more effectively. Satellite imagery and modern techniques like LiDAR, light detection and ranging, have uncovered evidence of ancient structures and settlements that may be related to the civilization Fawcett sought. Some scholars now believe that advanced pre-Columbian societies did indeed exist in the Amazon, with complex urban planning and sophisticated infrastructure. While no definitive evidence of the lost city of Z has been found, these discoveries suggest that the jungle may hold more secrets than previously imagined. Today, Fawcett's legend endures, inspiring new generations of explorers and researchers to follow in his footsteps. His quest for the lost city of Z has become a symbol of human perseverance, ambition, and the unrelenting desire to uncover the secrets of the past. The search for Z continues to captivate the imagination, reminding us that there are still places on Earth where the line between myth and reality remains tantalizingly blurred. The lost city of Z is more than just a historical mystery. It represents the eternal quest for knowledge, the allure of adventure, and the enduring power of human curiosity. Whether the city is ever found or not, its legacy will live on in the stories of those who dared to venture into the unknown and who believed that beneath the canopy of the Amazon, something extraordinary might still be waiting to be discovered. The ancient kingdom of Aksum, located in what is now northern Ethiopia, holds a place of profound significance in the history of the African continent. Flourishing between approximately 100 AD and 940 AD, Aksum was one of the great civilizations of the ancient world, known for its monumental achievements in architecture, trade, and culture. Among its most iconic legacies is the obelisk, a towering structure that symbolizes the kingdom's power and ingenuity. Aksum was not only a regional superpower, but it was also the birthplace of the first obelisk, an enduring symbol of the kingdom's ambition and skill. The Aksumite kingdom was a thriving empire that dominated much of the Red Sea coast, extending its influence into modern-day Ethiopia, Eritrea, Yemen, and Sudan. This strategic location enabled Aksum to become a major hub for trade, particularly in goods such as gold, ivory, frankincense, and myrrh. The kingdom's commercial activities spanned vast distances, connecting the Mediterranean world with Africa and Arabia. Aksum's economic prosperity and geopolitical importance made it a leading power in the ancient world. Aksum's architectural achievements were remarkable for their time, but the construction of the obelisk stands out as one of the most impressive. These towering stone monuments, often standing over 20 meters tall, were originally used as markers of royal tombs. The obelisks were carved from a single piece of stone, and their construction demonstrated not only the skill of Aksum's builders, but also their access to the resources and labor needed for such an ambitious project. The obelisks were adorned with intricate inscriptions, which provided valuable information about the kingdom's rulers, their accomplishments, and their dynastic lineage. The first obelisk, often referred to as the Stele of Aksum, was erected around the 4th century AD. This monumental structure is located in the Aksum archaeological site in northern Ethiopia, where many of the kingdom's most significant ruins can still be found. The Stele of Aksum, along with several others scattered throughout the site, was part of a larger complex of royal tombs. These obelisks are thought to have served both religious and funerary purposes, marking the final resting places of Aksumite kings and queens. The obelisks of Aksum were not only architectural feats, but also represented the power and religious significance of the Aksumite dynasty. The Aksumites were one of the earliest civilizations to adopt Christianity as the state religion, which occurred in the early 4th century under King Ezana. The conversion of Aksum to Christianity is a key moment in the history of the kingdom, and the obelisks likely reflected the merging of religious and royal authority. While the obelisks are often seen as symbols of Aksum's power, they may also have had a spiritual significance, acting as a bridge between the human and divine realms. The creation of these obelisks required advanced knowledge of engineering and labor management. The Aksumites used rudimentary tools and techniques to carve and transport the massive stones, which were often too large to move by conventional means. Some of the most famous obelisks, such as the Great Stele, still stand at the site of Aksum, having defied the elements for over 1,000 years. The Great Stele, which stands at an impressive 33 meters, 108 feet, is the largest and most elaborate of the Aksumite obelisks. Its towering presence continues to awe visitors and serves as a reminder of the kingdom's architectural prowess. The significance of the obelisks is not limited to their role in Aksumite culture. They also play a key role in the broader context of African history and the development of monumental architecture. The obelisks of Aksum predate many of the famous structures in Egypt and the rest of the Mediterranean world, establishing Aksum as an early pioneer in the use of obelisks as symbols of royal power. These monumental structures were precursors to the later obelisks of Egypt, which would become famous around the world. The fall of the Aksumite kingdom in the 10th century was a tragic end to one of the most impressive civilizations in the ancient world. The kingdom's decline is believed to have been caused by a combination of factors, including shifting trade routes, environmental changes, and internal strife. Despite its fall, the legacy of Aksum lives on, particularly through its monuments, such as the obelisks, which remain some of the most iconic symbols of the kingdom's grandeur. Today, the obelisks of Aksum continue to stand as a testament to the ingenuity and ambition of the Aksumite civilization. They are recognized as an important part of Ethiopia's cultural heritage and have been designated as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The obelisks of Aksum not only provide a window into the kingdom's past, but also offer a glimpse into the spiritual, political, and cultural significance of monumental architecture in the ancient world. The story of Aksum and its obelisks is a reminder of the incredible achievements of African civilizations long before the colonial era. It highlights the sophistication, resilience, and creativity of a kingdom that was once a dominant force in the world. The obelisks of Aksum remain enduring symbols of a civilization that built not only impressive structures, but also an empire that influenced the course of history. Tucked away in the dense tropical rainforest of southern Mexico, the ancient city of Palenque stands as one of the most remarkable achievements of the Maya civilization. Located in the present-day Chiapas region, Palenque flourished between the 7th and 8th centuries A.D., reaching its peak during the reign of its most famous ruler, Pakal the Great, known for its stunning architecture, intricate carvings, and the impressive tomb of Pakal. Palenque remains a testament to the ingenuity and creativity of the ancient Maya people. This majestic city, hidden amidst towering trees and thick jungle, continues to captivate historians, archaeologists, and visitors alike. Palenque was a significant city within the Maya Classic period and served as the political and cultural hub of the Maya lowlands. At its height, the city was home to an estimated population of around 6,000 to 8,000 people. Though the larger area around the city may have housed thousands more, the city's strategic location near the Usumacinta River allowed it to engage in trade and communicate with other major Maya centers across Mesoamerica, making it an important player in the political and economic landscape of the time. One of the most striking features of Palenque is its incredible architecture, which is a blend of Maya and local influences. The city is known for its elegant palaces, temples, and plazas, many of which are still remarkably well preserved. The most iconic structure within Palenque is the palace, a sprawling complex that served as the royal residence. The palace is known for its multiple levels, grand staircases, and a tower, an architectural feature unique to Palenque, offering a panoramic view of the city and surrounding jungle. This building stands as an enduring symbol of Maya engineering, with its refined design and functionality. However, it is Temple of the Inscriptions that truly brings Palenque to life in the eyes of many. This temple, which is one of the largest and most elaborate structures in the city, is perhaps best known for the discovery of Pakal the Great's tomb in the 1950s. Pakal's tomb is one of the most significant archaeological finds of the 20th century. Inside the temple, researchers found a large sarcophagus containing a magnificent jade mask and numerous other burial items, many of which were considered to have spiritual and symbolic meaning. The tomb's intricate carvings and the stone lid of the sarcophagus, which depicts Pakal's descent into the underworld, provide a glimpse into Maya cosmology and religious beliefs. The stele carvings found throughout Palenque are equally important, providing a wealth of information about the city's rulers and their dynasties. The Maya people were known for their ability to record historical events, and Palenque's stele stones, adorned with glyphs and images, tell the story of the city's rulers, including Pakal the Great and his son, Kinich Janab, Pakal II. These monumental stones were not just works of art, but also served as political propaganda, showcasing the divine right of the rulers and their connection to the gods. Palenque's grandeur was not just a result of its architecture and rulers, but also the sophisticated knowledge and advanced techniques employed by its people. The Maya were master astronomers, mathematicians, and engineers, and Palenque's constructions reflect this expertise. For instance, the Maya calendar, which was based on precise astronomical observations, is thought to have played a significant role in the city's design and layout. The orientation of the buildings and temples aligns with celestial events, such as the solstices, reflecting the Maya's deep connection to the cosmos. Despite its remarkable achievements, Palenque's decline came relatively early, around the 9th century, likely due to a combination of internal political strife, environmental changes, and the shifting dynamics of Maya society. By the time the Spanish arrived in the Americas in the 16th century, Palenque had already been abandoned, and much of its grandeur had been lost to the jungle. The city lay hidden beneath a thick canopy of vegetation for centuries, its secrets waiting to be rediscovered by explorers and archaeologists. In the early 19th century, Juan Galindo, a European explorer, stumbled upon the ruins of Palenque. But it wasn't until the 1950s that the site began to be systematically excavated. Today, Palenque is one of the most important archaeological sites in Mexico, drawing thousands of visitors annually. The city has been designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its exceptional preservation and its role in the understanding of Maya civilization. The rainforest that surrounds Palenque adds to the city's mystique, creating an almost magical atmosphere. As visitors walk among the ruins, they are often enveloped in the sounds of the jungle, with howler monkeys calling from the treetops and the rustling of leaves beneath the towering trees. The sense of discovery is palpable as the city gradually reveals itself from beneath the lush greenery. Today, Palenque stands as a monument to the advanced civilization of the ancient Maya. The city's impressive temples and palaces, its intricate carvings, and the tomb of Pakal offer a window into a past that was rich in culture, religion, and intellectual achievement. While much of the city remains uncovered, each new excavation brings to light more of Palenque's magnificent past, offering valuable insights into the lives of one of the most sophisticated civilizations of the ancient world. The legacy of Palenque is one that continues to inspire awe and wonder. It is not only a symbol of the greatness of the Maya, but also a reminder of the cultural richness of the Americas long before European colonization. Palenque, the majestic Maya city in the rainforest, stands as a testament to the enduring power of ancient architecture, art, and thought. Nestled within the rugged hills of central Turkey, the ancient city of Hattusa once stood as the capital of the Hittite Empire, one of the most powerful and influential civilizations of the ancient Near East. Today, the archaeological site of Hattusa provides a glimpse into a lost world that flourished more than 3,000 years ago. As the center of Hittite power from around 1600 BCE to 1200 BCE, Hattusa played a critical role in the political, military, and cultural landscape of the ancient world. Now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the ruins of Hattusa continue to captivate historians and archaeologists alike, offering invaluable insights into one of the most enigmatic civilizations of antiquity. The Hittites were an ancient Indo-European people who emerged as a dominant power in Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, and parts of the Near East. By the time Hattusa became their capital, the Hittites had already established themselves as a formidable force in the region, particularly known for their military prowess and their innovative use of chariot warfare. Hattusa, strategically located at the intersection of trade routes connecting the Aegean, Mesopotamia, and the Levant, was perfectly positioned to become the heart of the Hittite Empire. Hattusa's significance lies not only in its role as a political capital, but also in its cultural and religious importance. The city was a hub of Hittite society, home to a series of monumental structures, including palaces, temples, and royal residences. One of the most striking features of Hattusa is its fortifications, which are among the best preserved examples of ancient defensive architecture in the world. The city was encircled by massive stone walls, some of which are up to 8 meters thick and punctuated by towering gates, the most famous being the Lion Gate. This imposing entrance, named for the lion reliefs that guard it, symbolizes the power and prestige of Hattusa. The city's architecture reveals the Hittites' advanced engineering and construction techniques. The walls surrounding Hattusa were reinforced with watchtowers, allowing for efficient surveillance of the surrounding landscape. The city itself was laid out in a grid pattern, with streets and neighborhoods arranged to reflect both practical considerations and symbolic meanings. At the heart of the city stood the royal palace, an imposing structure that was home to the Hittite king and his court. This palace complex included large courtyards, audience halls, and storage rooms, all designed to showcase the wealth and power of the monarchy. Religious life was also central to the culture of Hattusa, and the city was home to several important temples and shrines. The Temple of the Storm God, dedicated to the Hittite chief deity, is one of the most notable religious structures. The Hittites were polytheistic, worshipping a pantheon of gods and goddesses, many of whom were associated with natural elements such as the sun, moon, and storms. The Hittites also believed in the power of the king as a divine representative of the gods, and the royal family played a key role in performing rituals to ensure the favor of the deities. One of the most remarkable aspects of Hattusa is its written records, which have provided historians with a wealth of information about the Hittite civilization. The Hittite cuneiform tablets discovered in the early 20th century include royal decrees, treaties, religious texts, and diplomatic correspondence, many of which were written in multiple languages, including Hittite, Akkadian, and Hurrian. These tablets offer a glimpse into the political and social organization of the Hittite Empire, shedding light on everything from military strategies to legal codes. Among the most famous of these texts is the Treaty of Kadesh, a peace agreement signed between the Hittite king Hattusili III and the Egyptian pharaoh Ramses II around 1259 BCE. This treaty, which is one of the earliest known examples of a formal peace agreement, exemplifies the diplomatic acumen of the Hittites. Despite its great power, the Hittite Empire and its capital, Hattusa, began to decline around 1200 BCE. The exact cause of the fall of Hattusa remains a subject of debate among scholars, but it is believed that the empire was weakened by internal strife, invasions from the Sea Peoples, and economic instability. By the end of the 12th century BCE, the city of Hattusa was abandoned, its once impressive buildings and fortifications left to crumble in the face of time and nature. Hattusa remained lost to history for many centuries, hidden beneath the earth and largely forgotten. The rediscovery of Hattusa came in the early 20th century, when archaeologists began to uncover the site and its remarkable structures. Excavations revealed not only the monumental architecture, but also thousands of clay tablets inscribed with cuneiform script, providing a direct link to the ancient Hittites. The site was officially recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1986, ensuring its preservation and continued study. Today, Hattusa stands as a monument to the power and sophistication of the Hittite Empire. Visitors to the site can explore its impressive gates, palaces, and temples, marveling at the ancient city's grandeur. The Lion Gate and the Royal Palace are among the most iconic structures, while the Great Temple and the High City provide further insights into the religious and political life of the Hittites. The ruins of Hattusa, though weathered by time, still speak to the city's former glory, offering a window into one of the ancient world's most advanced and influential civilizations. The legacy of Hattusa endures not only in the physical remains of the city, but also in the historical and cultural impact of the Hittites on the ancient Near East. Their mastery of diplomacy, military tactics, and engineering set the Hittites apart from their contemporaries, and the ruins of Hattusa continue to stand as a testament to their achievements. As archaeologists continue to uncover new artifacts and decipher ancient texts, the story of Hattusa and the Hittite Empire will continue to unfold, shedding light on a lost civilization that once ruled over a vast and powerful empire in the heart of Anatolia. Nineveh, one of the most famous cities of the ancient world, served as the capital of the Assyrian Empire at its height, around the 7th century BCE, located near the modern city of Mosul. In northern Iraq, Nineveh was the heart of a vast and powerful empire that stretched across much of the ancient Near East. As the center of Assyrian power, Nineveh was a thriving metropolis that housed an advanced civilization, rich in culture, military might, and architectural achievement. Today, the ruins of Nineveh stand as a testament to the power of the Assyrians and their lasting influence on the ancient world. Nineveh's strategic location on the banks of the Tigris River made it an ideal site for the capital of the Assyrian Empire. The city was established as a major settlement long before it became the empire's capital, but it was under the rule of Sennacherib, r. 705 to 681 BCE, that Nineveh truly flourished. The Assyrian king Sennacherib transformed the city into a magnificent capital, making it one of the largest and most impressive cities of the ancient world. Nineveh became renowned for its monumental architecture, impressive urban planning, and lavish royal palaces. At its peak, Nineveh was an expansive city, covering over 1,000 acres. The city was enclosed by massive defensive walls, which were reinforced with gates and towers to protect it from invaders. The most famous of these was the Impenetrable Gate, which was part of the northern city wall. The walls themselves were over 20 feet thick and stood as a symbol of the strength and security that Nineveh's rulers sought to project. Inside these walls lay a complex urban landscape, featuring wide streets, lush gardens, and an advanced infrastructure that included water systems and canals. The most notable structure in Nineveh was the Palace of Sennacherib, a grand and opulent building that served as the royal residence. This palace was decorated with elaborate reliefs and sculptures, many of which depicted the military triumphs of Sennacherib and his campaigns against neighboring nations. The reliefs showed scenes of warfare, sieges, and conquests, reflecting the brutal might of the Assyrian Empire. Some of these reliefs, which were carved directly into the palace walls, are still on display today in museums around the world, offering a glimpse into the artistic and propagandistic purposes of Assyrian art. Sennacherib's reign also saw the construction of the famous Hanging Gardens of Nineveh, which were said to be among the most beautiful and extraordinary gardens of the ancient world. While the gardens themselves have not survived to the present day, historical accounts suggest that they were an engineering marvel featuring lush greenery and exotic plants, fed by an advanced irrigation system that transported water from the Tigris River. This garden complex was likely a symbol of Sennacherib's wealth and his desire to make Nineveh not only a military capital, but also a cultural and aesthetic center. In addition to its architectural achievements, Nineveh was home to an extensive library, known as the Library of Ashurbanipal, one of the most important libraries of the ancient world. The library contained thousands of clay tablets inscribed with texts in Akkadian, Sumerian, and Babylonian, covering subjects such as literature, astronomy, medicine, and history. Among the most famous works housed in the library was the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest known literary works in human history. The library was not only a center for learning, but also a symbol of the Assyrian king's dedication to preserving and collecting knowledge. Despite its grandeur, Nineveh's downfall came swiftly. The Assyrian Empire began to decline after the death of Ashurbanipal in 627 BCE, and by 612 BCE, Nineveh itself fell to a coalition of forces from the Babylonians, Medes, and Scythians. The fall of Nineveh was a devastating blow to the Assyrian Empire, which had once been one of the most powerful empires in the ancient world. According to historical records, the city was thoroughly sacked and burned, its grand buildings reduced to rubble. After the fall, Nineveh was abandoned and gradually became lost to history, buried beneath the sands of time. The rediscovery of Nineveh came in the 19th century when British archaeologist Austen Henry Layard began excavating the site in the 1840s. Layard's excavations unearthed some of the most famous Assyrian artifacts, including the reliefs from Sennacherib's palace and the Lamassu statues, giant winged bulls with human heads that guarded the city gates. These discoveries helped bring Nineveh and the Assyrian Empire back into the historical record, providing scholars with invaluable insights into the culture, politics, and daily life of the ancient Assyrians. Today, the ruins of Nineveh are part of an important archaeological site, though much of the city has been damaged over the years due to looting, conflicts, and environmental factors. The ancient walls, gates, and palaces still stand, albeit in a much more eroded state than in their heyday. However, the Nimrud and Nineveh archaeological sites remain among the most significant remnants of the ancient Assyrian Empire. Nineveh's legacy continues to influence our understanding of the ancient world. As the capital of the Assyrian Empire, the city was a beacon of military power, cultural achievement, and architectural brilliance. It was a city that reflected the glory and ambition of the Assyrian rulers, who sought to create a lasting imprint on history through conquest, art, and scholarship. Even in its ruined state, Nineveh continues to inspire awe and wonder, serving as a reminder of the grandeur of a once great empire and its lost capital. The Sphinx of Giza, one of the most iconic and enigmatic monuments in the world, stands proudly in the desert, guarding the Great Pyramids and offering a glimpse into the greatness of ancient Egypt. While the Sphinx itself is famous for its immense size and mysterious expression, a lesser-known mystery lies hidden beneath the sands. The lost temples of Giza, often referred to as the Sphinx City. These temples, believed to have once been the heart of a grand ceremonial complex, remain shrouded in mystery, leaving archaeologists and historians to speculate about their significance in ancient Egyptian religion, politics, and daily life. The Sphinx, with the body of a lion and the head of a pharaoh, is thought to have been built during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre, circa 2550 BCE. While the monument's purpose has been widely debated, many scholars believe it was a symbol of the king's divine power, serving as a guardian of the sacred land. However, in addition to the Great Sphinx, recent archaeological discoveries in the area have pointed to the existence of other, smaller temples and structures buried in the desert near the Giza Plateau. These structures are believed to have once been part of a larger ceremonial city, possibly called the Sphinx City, designed to honor the gods and provide a sacred space for the rituals surrounding the construction of the pyramid. The idea of a lost city near the Sphinx has been supported by recent excavations and technological advancements in archaeological techniques, including ground-penetrating radar and laser scanning. These technologies have revealed signs of long-forgotten structures hidden just below the surface of the desert. Archaeologists have identified a number of temples and halls that were likely used for religious ceremonies, offerings, and possibly even royal burials. These findings have begun to paint a clearer picture of the ancient city that once thrived near the Sphinx, but much remains unknown. One of the most significant discoveries related to the Sphinx City is the temple complex that may have been used for the rituals of the pharaoh. Archaeologists believe that these temples were dedicated to Horus, the falcon-headed god, whose cult was central to the Egyptian monarchy. It's believed that these temples may have been used to facilitate the pharaoh's ascension to divine status, with the Sphinx acting as a symbolic guardian of this process. The temples likely housed priests and officials who performed the sacred rituals, using elaborate statues, altars, and inscriptions to honor the gods and bless the pharaoh's reign. In addition to the temples, the Sphinx city is thought to have contained several other monumental structures, including causeways, roads, and smaller shrines, which would have connected the city to the pyramids. These roads were likely used during the grand processions that accompanied the construction and dedication of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The processions, filled with music, prayer, and offerings, would have been a way for the pharaoh to demonstrate his divine favor and solidify his connection to the gods. Although much of the Sphinx city remains buried beneath the sands, some of its structures have been uncovered, offering a glimpse into the grandeur of ancient Egyptian architecture. Many of the stone blocks and columns found in the area are inscribed with hieroglyphs, which may provide crucial insights into the spiritual and political significance of the lost city. Carved reliefs and statues discovered near the Sphinx further hint at the city's role as a religious and ceremonial center. However, the full extent of the city's layout and purpose remains a mystery. Perhaps one of the most intriguing aspects of the Sphinx city is the ongoing debate over the date of its construction. While it was long believed that the Sphinx and the associated temples were built during the reign of Khafre, some researchers argue that the city may predate the Old Kingdom. Some scholars have suggested that the Sphinx itself could have been built earlier, possibly during the reign of Pharaoh Djoser, the ruler of the Third Dynasty, while others believe it may have been constructed much later. The mysterious erosion patterns on the Sphinx, which some believe are a result of water erosion, have led to theories suggesting that the monument could be much older than previously thought. The mystery surrounding the Sphinx city deepens when considering the disappearance of these temples and structures. While the monuments of Giza have endured for thousands of years, the temples surrounding the Sphinx were likely destroyed, either intentionally or due to natural events, long before they could be fully documented. Some believe that the temples were deliberately buried during a later period in Egypt's history, perhaps in an attempt to erase or obscure the memory of the Old Kingdom's religious practices. Others speculate that earthquakes, flooding, or sandstorms might have contributed to the collapse of these structures over time. Despite these challenges, modern archaeological efforts continue to reveal new discoveries in the Sphinx city. Excavations and restoration projects are ongoing, with teams from around the world working to preserve and document the remains of this ancient site. Researchers hope that continued exploration will eventually answer the many questions surrounding the Sphinx, the lost temples, and their connection to the ancient Egyptian pharaohs. Today, the Sphinx city stands as a powerful reminder of the complexity and mystique of ancient Egypt. As the sands of time continue to shift, new discoveries and technologies may finally uncover the full story of this lost city, its temples, and its role in the construction of the Great Pyramid. Until then, the Sphinx will continue to guard its secrets, offering a tantalizing glimpse into the ancient world and the enduring legacy of the Egyptian civilization. The ancient city of Ur, located in modern-day Iraq, near the banks of the Euphrates River, holds a significant place in the history of human civilization. Once a thriving metropolis and the capital of the Sumerian civilization, Ur stands as a testament to the ingenuity and cultural achievements of one of the earliest urban societies. Yet, despite its importance, Ur became largely forgotten over time, buried under the sands of history. It wasn't until the early 20th century that the city was rediscovered, revealing its once glorious past and offering invaluable insights into the development of civilization itself. Ur's roots stretch back to the late 4th millennium BCE, making it one of the earliest cities in the world. It is believed that Ur began as a small village before evolving into a major city-state by around 3000 BCE. At its peak, Ur was a powerful center of commerce, religion, and politics in Sumer, a region often regarded as the birthplace of civilization. The city flourished due to its strategic location, situated on the banks of the Euphrates River, which allowed it to control trade routes between the Persian Gulf and the inner regions of Mesopotamia. This access to water and fertile land facilitated agricultural production, while its proximity to key trade routes enabled Ur to become a hub of international commerce. One of the most remarkable aspects of Ur was its written language. The Sumerians are credited with developing one of the earliest known writing systems, known as cuneiform. This system, inscribed on clay tablets, allowed the people of Ur to record everything from trade transactions to legal codes and religious rituals. The discovery of thousands of cuneiform tablets in the ruins of Ur has provided modern scholars with invaluable information about the daily lives, beliefs, and practices of the Sumerians. Among the most famous texts found at Ur is the Code of Ur-Nammu, one of the oldest known legal codes, which predated the more famous Code of Hammurabi by several centuries. The city of Ur also played a significant role in the development of religion. The Sumerians were polytheistic, worshipping a pantheon of gods and goddesses who were believed to control various aspects of nature and human life. The moon god Nana was the city's chief deity, and the ziggurat of Ur was dedicated to his worship. The Sumerians built grand temples to honor their gods, and priests held significant power in the city. Religion was deeply intertwined with politics, as rulers were often considered divine or semi-divine figures who were tasked with maintaining the favor of the gods. Despite its prosperity, Ur's influence began to wane around the 20th century BCE. Several factors contributed to its decline, including shifting trade routes, internal conflicts, and invasions by neighboring peoples. The city eventually fell into obscurity, and by the time of the Neo-Babylonian Empire, circa 6th century BCE, Ur had been largely abandoned. Over time, the once thriving city was buried under layers of sand and silt, and its location was forgotten by all but a few. The rediscovery of Ur came in the early 20th century, when British archaeologist C. Leonard Woolley began excavations at the site in the 1920s. His work revealed an astonishing array of artifacts, including royal tombs, cuneiform tablets, and stunning jewelry. Perhaps the most famous discovery was the royal tombs of Ur, where Woolley uncovered the remains of several high-ranking individuals, along with their elaborate burial goods. These tombs provided a glimpse into the wealth and grandeur of Ur, as well as the religious and cultural practices of the time. Today, the ruins of Ur stand as one of the most important archaeological sites in the world. The ziggurat of Ur still rises majestically from the desert, a symbol of the city's religious significance. While much of the city has been lost to time, ongoing excavations continue to reveal more about its past, offering valuable insights into the early development of urban civilization. The discovery of Ur and its ancient artifacts has helped historians piece together the story of the Sumerians and their contributions to the development of writing, law, religion, and governance. Ur's legacy lives on as a reminder of the remarkable achievements of one of the first great civilizations. As the cradle of civilization, Ur helped lay the foundations for many of the cultural, political, and technological advances that would shape the course of human history. Though it may have been forgotten for centuries, the city of Ur is now recognized as one of the cornerstones of ancient civilization, offering a window into the distant past and a reminder of the ingenuity of our earliest ancestors. While Pompeii often takes the spotlight as the most famous ancient city buried by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 CE, its twin city, Herculaneum, remains a lesser-known but equally fascinating sight. Both cities were tragically destroyed in the same catastrophic eruption, but Herculaneum has its own unique history and has provided remarkable archaeological insights into Roman life. The city's preservation, aided by the unique nature of the eruption, has allowed us to uncover an incredible amount of detailed information about its inhabitants, their lifestyle, and the society they lived in. Located on the Bay of Naples in southern Italy, Herculaneum was a bustling Roman town, much smaller than Pompeii, but no less significant. Unlike Pompeii, which was overwhelmed by falling ash and pumice, Herculaneum was buried under a thick blanket of mud and pyroclastic flows, a mixture of volcanic gases, ash, and debris at extremely high temperatures. This distinction in the nature of the eruption has played a crucial role in preserving Herculaneum in a more intact state than its famous twin. The volcanic materials that buried the city, although devastating, sealed buildings, artifacts, and even organic materials, such as wooden furniture, food, and textiles, in a way that Pompeii's ash burial could not. The discovery of Herculaneum came much later than Pompeii, with excavations beginning in the 18th century. But the city has since revealed incredible treasures that shed light on the life of the ancient Romans. At the time of its destruction, Herculaneum had a population of around 5,000 to 10,000 people. It was a thriving town that had a close relationship with Pompeii, as both cities were located in the fertile region of Campania and shared cultural and commercial ties. Herculaneum's wealth stemmed from its proximity to the sea and its flourishing industries, including the production of garum, a fermented fish sauce that was highly prized in Roman cuisine. When Mount Vesuvius erupted, it unleashed a catastrophic flow of volcanic material. The pyroclastic surge engulfed Herculaneum, instantly killing its inhabitants and entombing their homes and everyday objects. The extreme heat from the eruption carbonized much of the wood, food, and even some of the inhabitants' bodies, which were later preserved in their final positions. Archaeologists have uncovered the skeletal remains of victims, many of whom had sought refuge in a series of boathouses along the coast. The discovery of these remains has provided an eerie but invaluable insight into the final moments of the city's residents. One of the most fascinating aspects of Herculaneum's excavation is the incredible preservation of its buildings and objects. Unlike Pompeii, where much of the city was destroyed or looted over time, Herculaneum's structures have remained largely intact. The volcanic mud that buried the city preserved buildings to extraordinary heights, with many walls, frescoes, and mosaics still visible. Homes in Herculaneum, especially the wealthier homes, were decorated with elaborate frescoes and intricate mosaics that depicted scenes of Roman life, gods, and mythology. These artworks, now carefully preserved, offer a vivid picture of the aesthetics and tastes of the Roman elite. Among the most spectacular finds in Herculaneum were its private villas and the Villa of the Papyri, a luxurious estate that housed a large library of scrolls. The Villa of the Papyri, named for its remarkable collection of charred scrolls, was one of the most impressive villas in the city. The library contained hundreds of scrolls, many of which were carbonized by the intense heat of the eruption. Over time, scholars have painstakingly unrolled and deciphered these scrolls, revealing works of philosophy, literature, and science, some of which were previously unknown to the modern world. The discovery of these texts has provided scholars with a rare glimpse into the intellectual life of the Roman elite. Herculaneum's public buildings and infrastructure also offer important insights into Roman urban planning and daily life. The city's bathhouses, markets, and streets have been partially restored, and their remains suggest a highly organized and advanced society. The city even had temples, theaters, and public spaces for entertainment and religious activities. Many of these structures have been preserved to a higher degree than those in Pompeii, offering a more detailed view of the Roman urban experience. The eruption of Vesuvius and the subsequent burial of Herculaneum was a devastating tragedy, but it has allowed for an unparalleled preservation of Roman life. Today, Herculaneum is an essential site for archaeologists, historians, and visitors eager to understand more about ancient Roman civilization. The remains of this once thriving city continue to shed light on the past, offering a unique perspective on Roman art, architecture, daily life, and even their intellectual pursuits. While Pompeii often captures the imagination of the public, Herculaneum's subtle elegance and incredible preservation make it a hidden gem in the shadows of Vesuvius. The city provides a more intimate and nuanced view of ancient Roman life, offering valuable clues to the world that existed before the eruption altered it forever. The ongoing excavation and preservation of Herculaneum continue to reveal new secrets about this remarkable city, ensuring that its legacy, though buried for centuries, will never be forgotten. Hidden deep within the cloud forests of the Peruvian Andes, Vilcabamba, often referred to as the lost city of the Incas, remains one of the most elusive and enigmatic ancient sites in the world. While the more famous Machu Picchu is often hailed as the enduring symbol of Inca civilization, Vilcabamba holds its own mystery and historical significance. Known as the last stronghold of the Inca Empire, Vilcabamba was a refuge for the Incas during their final years of resistance against the Spanish conquistadors. The city is a symbol of both the grandeur of the Inca civilization and the resilience of its people in the face of invasion and collapse. Vilcabamba's exact location was unknown to the outside world for centuries. It was only in 1911 when American explorer Hiram Bingham rediscovered Machu Picchu that attention began to focus on the possibility of another hidden Inca city. However, it wasn't until the mid-20th century that the ruins of Vilcabamba were located in the village de Espiritu Pampa, deep in the rugged and nearly impenetrable mountain region of La Convención Valley, Peru. Even now, the site is difficult to access, and much of its surrounding terrain remains untouched and undisturbed. The city of Vilcabamba is closely tied to the story of the Inca Empire's collapse. In the early 16th century, after the Spanish conquest of the Inca capital of Cusco, the empire was divided, and its rulers were forced into hiding. Manco Inca Yupanqui, the last independent Inca ruler, retreated to Vilcabamba with his supporters after failing to retake Cusco from the Spanish. Vilcabamba became the last refuge for the Incas, a place where they continued to fight and resist Spanish rule for nearly 4 decades. The history of Vilcabamba is intertwined with that of Manco Inca and his descendants, who established the Neo-Inca state in the region. From 1536 to 1572, the Neo-Inca state carried on a guerrilla war against the Spanish forces in the region, using the city of Vilcabamba as both a military stronghold and a ceremonial center. Despite their resistance, the Incas were eventually defeated when Spanish conquistador Sebastián de Castilla launched an expedition to destroy Vilcabamba. Manco Inca's son, Titu Cusi Yupanqui, was captured and killed, and the city was abandoned. The remaining inhabitants were either killed or dispersed, marking the end of the Inca Empire's resistance to Spanish colonization. Vilcabamba's geographical location made it a highly strategic stronghold. It was nestled in a remote and rugged mountain valley, far from the reach of the Spanish forces. The dense jungle and the steep mountains surrounding the city provided natural barriers that made it incredibly difficult for the Spanish to locate and attack. The ruins of Vilcabamba are spread out over a large area with terraces, buildings, and ceremonial sites scattered throughout the valley. The layout of the city is organized in a way that reflects typical Inca architectural and urban planning principles, with ceremonial spaces, agricultural terraces, and complex water management systems. One of the most impressive features of Vilcabamba is its architecture. The ruins consist of a mix of stone structures, including temples, palaces, and plazas. The Inca masonry is evident in the precision with which the stones were cut and fit together without mortar, a hallmark of Inca engineering. Some of the structures appear to have been used for religious or ceremonial purposes, with traces of ritual offerings and symbolic carvings found on the site. In particular, the palace of Manco Inca is thought to have been a center of political and religious power during the city's heyday. Despite the significant archaeological remains, much of Vilcabamba remains largely unexplored. The dense jungle has obscured many sections of the site, and erosion and natural overgrowth have made it difficult to fully investigate the area. In addition, the challenging terrain and the location of the site high in the Andes have made excavation and preservation efforts difficult. Nevertheless, what has been uncovered so far paints a picture of a well-organized and vibrant city that functioned as a center of Inca resistance and survival in the face of foreign invasion. Vilcabamba's story has become part of the broader narrative of the Inca Empire's fall. While the Incas ultimately lost their battle for independence, their legacy lives on in the cultural and architectural achievements that remain in places like Vilcabamba. The city is also a symbol of Inca resilience, a place where the spirit of the empire endured long after its official demise. The preservation of the site has provided archaeologists with valuable insights into the final years of the Inca Empire, the customs and traditions of the Neo-Inca state, and the cultural continuity of the Andean people. Today, Vilcabamba is a place of profound intrigue and captivating mystery, drawing historians, archaeologists, and adventurous travelers from all corners of the world. While it is not as universally recognized as the iconic Machu Picchu, Vilcabamba possesses a unique and undeniable charm that sets it apart. Often referred to as the last Inca stronghold, the city lies nestled in the mist-covered valleys of the Andes Mountains, surrounded by towering peaks and dense forests, as if deliberately hidden from the world. Vilcabamba's enigmatic nature stems from its role in the final years of the mighty Inca Empire, a time of turmoil, resistance, and eventual collapse. After the fall of the Inca capital, Cusco, to Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century, Vilcabamba became the last refuge of Inca rulers and their loyal followers. For nearly 40 years, it served as the final bastion of resistance, where the Incas held out against Spanish forces, refusing to surrender their sovereignty. Its remote location made it the perfect hideaway, away from the Spanish conquistadors who were relentless in their pursuit of the empire's remnants. However, despite its pivotal role in Inca history, Vilcabamba remained shrouded in mystery. Much of its history and even the precise location of its ruins were unknown for centuries. It wasn't until the early 20th century that explorers and scholars began to uncover the city's remains, tucked away in the dense jungle and mist. Still, much of Vilcabamba's past remains elusive, as the city was abandoned, forgotten, and largely untouched for generations. The ruins that stand today are a testament to the remarkable engineering, architecture, and agricultural innovations of the Incas. Scattered throughout the site are remnants of terraced fields, stone structures, and ceremonial platforms, all offering glimpses into the daily lives and spiritual practices of the Inca people. These ruins, though weathered by time and nature, evoke a sense of awe and reverence for the advanced civilization that once thrived here. Beyond its historical and archaeological significance, Vilcabamba's location in the heart of the Andes makes it a place of breathtaking natural beauty. The landscape surrounding the ruins is a stunning blend of lush valleys, jagged mountain peaks, and cloud forests, all of which add to the allure and mystique of the site. For those who venture to Vilcabamba, the journey itself is as awe-inspiring as the destination, an opportunity to walk in the footsteps of the Incas and experience a living connection to one of the most fascinating lost civilizations in history. Vilcabamba's hidden location, its crucial role in the final chapters of the Inca Empire, and its striking scenery ensure that it will forever remain one of the most captivating and mysterious lost cities of the ancient world. As the years pass and more research is conducted, it's likely that new discoveries will continue to unfold, shedding light on the city's true significance and providing a deeper understanding of the Incas' enduring legacy. Until then, Vilcabamba will remain a place of wonder, history, and untold stories, keeping its secrets tucked away in the clouds of the Andes, of the